Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
Welcome to Golden Guys. It's Tuesday night, just like the Golden Girls without all the sex appeal. We're here to talk about Golden Age comics, what's been going on from 1938 to 1955, and what's been going on in our own collections here and there. And then we've got some news we're going to share with some people, some good stuff. Let me just introduce the panel right now. We have one guy coming on the way, but let me first start off well, it's been a while, so let's talk to Jeff. How you been, buddy?
I've been good, guys. Good. Just getting, just doing the collecting thing like everybody else. Trying to find any leads you can and get into something at some point. I got some books, but they're just taking time to get through. And excited to show you guys. Got some stuff at CGC that's taking its time. It's been stuck in perpetual, scheduled for grading hell for a while now, or purgatory, if you will. And the kids start school tomorrow. Kind of excited. Kind of unsure what's going to happen, so been busy at this household.
Nice, good. DS, how's it going over there by you?
It's going pretty good. I'll tell you, I've been trying to buy a big book for a minute, and in the Comic Link and Comic Connect, I'm like 0 for 12. I didn't score anything. Heritage auctions on the Sunday nights, I'm like, add in another 0 for 6 for the last few weeks. So yeah, sometimes I think I'm kind of in cheap mode right now. I'm not trying to pay much. I want to get everything for a deal right now, which is cool. I'm being patient, but yeah, it's just weird that sometimes it goes through a time where you just cannot get anything, and then other times the floodgates open and you get more stuff than you can even handle. And yeah, so I've been picking up stuff to sell, but I haven't for PC. I mean, I've just been striking out, and yeah, so I don't know, not a whole lot going on, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm floating around with a few ideas right now to change things around here a little bit, but I'm trying to get with a guy hopefully by the end of the year. He's an older guy. He might be getting rid of some of his stuff, so I might take a look and see what he's got. I've seen the collection before. Some of it's good. Some of it's, a lot of that early 60s stuff that isn't really great, but we'll take a look at that, but it'll be fun. So these auctions are going freaking bananas, huh? Did you see anything you guys saw that kind of shocked you in the price? Anything that you wanted?
I didn't get to see much, but DS messaged me a couple times on books that he put some really strong offers on and didn't even get them, or really it was kind of a bit off still. I was surprised. There were definitely some strong numbers.
Yeah, there was, I don't know. I watched some of the Silver Age keys. I thought the prices for like just your mainstream blue chip stuff was strong in both Comic Link and Comic Connect. But for some of the fringe, like dark Golden Age stuff that I'm into, stuff I'm familiar with too, like pre-code horror books, like mid-grade stuff, I'm off by like 40% on these prices. And yeah, crazy. Some Lou Fine stuff, some just pre-code horror stuff. Yeah, I was sending Jeff, updates the one night, and I thought I was putting some pretty strong bids on some stuff, and on a few of them, man, I was missing by a mile. Like I think on one pre-code horror book, I was in for like 1,700, and it went for like 2,500. And so I think the market, based on those two options right now, markets was pretty strong for the stuff I was watching.
I think the lack of cons has brought out a bunch of buyers. I went to a little hotel con here this weekend, picked up a few things, nothing really crazy, stuff I'm going to work on. But it was not a lot of sellers, but a lot of people talking. Harley Yee was at a small con this weekend. I saw a few other people were at small cons that are normally at the big cons. So you never know. I mean, it's one of those fun times.
Yeah, the Little Giants con in, what is it, New Hampshire or something?
Yeah, New Hampshire.
And as far as I know, Baltimore's still going, so maybe we're getting back.
We're Baltimore now, I guess.
Huh?
Yeah, they're not going to go live. It's got to be online.
Baltimore's is? Oh, okay. I haven't looked. I usually buy tickets ahead of time, but I haven't because of everything. So yeah, I don't know. I think that might have something to do with it. I don't know. I mean, and there's like books like Mask 2 that are just selling insanely high, and I can't make heads or tails of it. It's a volatile market, but it's a strong market right now, I think, and that's just been my observation of it from like early Silver Age and into the Golden Age. So
I would agree. It's a strong market for almost anything. I mean, I've seen some modern. I guess their keys are just flying off of everywhere. I mean, new prices, new records for all these things. So that's pretty good. I mean, the market's been healthy here and there. I was going to shout out the chat real quick because I'm going to do that first. Mr. Barrett, first one here. Great having you here. Ruben Guzman, good having you here. Cowabunga. Ricky, great having you here. Mac Daddy, great having you here as well. Jumbo, should have seen some fiction houses this guy pulled out. Whole set of wings, almost the whole run. It was good. We've got K Titus. Yes, konnichiwa, my good friend. Tokyo. Mushi Mushi. And Comic Mag Musings. What's going on to Jeff? Always good to see you there. Mr. JD, very good here. Secto Centaurum Comics, great having him here. Fan of that group right there. Good stuff. Well, so one of the things I kind of a spur of the moment thing I was going through, and I guess I got the right guys for this. When you're flipping, how much time in advance do you give yourself for selling some of these books? So a guy's got 5 not rare, but 5 Golden Age books, some Chestlers, none of the big name ones. Interested in selling, getting graded. He's getting graded. He wants to try to get them back to hit one of the big auctions coming up. What time do you give yourselves for selling for saving up for a big price? I mean, for me, it's just whenever I do it. I don't really have a time frame, but I mean, I usually say I hold out for the best buyers usually. Maybe some tips for you on selling. You guys got any good ideas?
Well, Jeff probably has more ideas than me because he's been doing it longer and at a much more professional sort of level. But one thing I think is important when you're doing business type stuff is to keep your mind on resources in general. It's not always about the money only. There's resources in life, there's resources in business. And one of the most overlooked resources, I think, and it applies in life generally, is time. People focus so much on money sometimes they forget about the resource of time. So as this applies to me selling, I will try to sell things quickly so that I can put the money back to work for me rather than holding out to break GPA records on stuff. I'll sell it a little less and move it quick and get the money. Now I'll get a little less money than other people might get, but I get it quicker. And I feel like if I can get the money back in quick and put it back to work for me, I'm utilizing my resource of time very wisely. And I'm not necessarily maximizing the money, but I feel like it's a good trade-off because I have much more time to use on it as opposed to just letting it sit out there and try to break GPA records with stuff. So I think time is an undervalued resource. People a lot of times are just focusing on the money and they want a certain amount for a book and they'll have the book for 3-4 months and it hasn't sold. I'll try to sell stuff quick and put the money back to work for me. So That's one little tip. I don't have anything real specific though.
I'm gonna say that's my biggest weakness for me is my lack of pushing stuff out. I almost freeze enough because I keep thinking I'm going to try to sell something for a certain price, and then things pile up, and I keep trying to find that right moment or that right buyer. That things end up sitting, and then they get put behind a back burner, and another book comes, and it just compiles that way for me. So for very much DS being so disciplined is in getting a book in and then getting a book out. If you're looking to retail and sell stuff, I truly recommend, like you said, time. I'm going to echo that. I mean, that's one of the most valuable things in life you're going to have, because it's one of the things you'll never get back is your time, no matter what. And obviously everybody these days is trying to make things as quickly and convenient as possible, as we see with technology and everything. So for avenues of selling, I say don't sell yourself short on putting yourself stuff out there as many places as possible, because right now online is our really only option until you build that pool of people that you know or have, and keep a database of collectors out there. Keep a spreadsheet and list of things books that people are looking for, because you will come across that and you'll be like, oh, this guy's been looking for this book. Here it is. Now, sometimes it's going to be spinning your wheels because they can always just find it online and they just want a great price. But regardless, keep a database of people. Check every avenue you can. If you're just starting, it's going to take time to build before you can truly maximize sometimes on every book. But yeah, turn and burn if you can. Like I said, it's my biggest weakness. It's frustrating to me because I freeze almost and don't do anything. And then that's doing nothing. So I've just had this conversation with people a few times in the last month and a half, and I'm getting to the point where it's like, okay, it's time to just make that step and just don't think you're going to maximize, some funny animals book because, you want $20 for it when you can get 10, and you're like, what are you doing? Like, it just, A, it's taking up space. B, you're just holding on to it, and multiply that times 100. And that's, again, more space, more money that you can put in something. So those are my biggest thoughts. Just don't freeze, just do it. Get your money back in your pocket, put it towards another book, and have it revolving if you can and want to.
Yeah, and I picked up a small collection recently. Had a lot of these. This one's just sitting on the stack. Here's another one. Stuff like this. Decent stuff that's liquid. I started a seller's page on Instagram. I put everything on there. I flooded it all out there. I put everything under GTA at good prices, and about half of it sold quick. Perfect. I feel like that sort of fizzled out. I put everything now is on eBay auction starting at $1, and that's going to end on Sunday. Do I know what the books are going to get? I wanted like $235 for this. I didn't get it yet, so I just eBay auction starting for $1. Will I get $235? I don't know, but for what I have into the books, I've made my money back on the collection I bought anyway. I want to get something out of this now. I've had it for 3 weeks. It's time to move it. So eBay auction for $1 is the last resort. And I'll let it fly and see where it ends up. And it might not go for what I think it should go for, but that's just part of it. But you know what? I'd rather have, 160 out of this now than wait another month and a half to get 230, because I can use 160 to easily make up the difference in the next month and a half. So yeah, I think it's important to have multiple outlets. It's one reason I sort of shy away from using the CGC boards. I've been using them more over the last year, but still sparsely, because when you have something on there, you can't list it anywhere else. And I like to have my options open. So sometimes I'll put a big book or just a collection, whatever doesn't sell. Like I put war books on there, I sold a few, and then I just closed it. Then I moved them on to Instagram and eBay. And I think it's good to have different avenues. There's different sets of collectors, different pools of collectors in each of these markets, eBay, the boards, Instagram, cons, whatever. And it's important to be able to be flexible to move around in different buyer pools when you're selling. There's different crowds of people looking for different things with different tastes, and it's important to have a lot of outlets, I think.
Nice. So, Knights, welcome. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, sorry it's late, guys.
No worries.
But sounds like you're giving tips on how to sell books.
Right. Something in the neighborhood of where a couple people have brought it up before. Is that we always tell avenues to buy, but avenues to sell, and best ways to sell, just some selling tips. And what we've got from these guys is your time is as valuable as money, which is great. Don't be afraid to let it ride on a few books. Have multiple venues for selling, outlets, so as DS put it. So one of the things, like I talked about with somebody, was like trading for me is easier than selling. It's just always been my nature. And it's funny you brought up this, but I remember going to cons, and I'm sure I see TJ's in the chat. I'm sure a bunch of other guys did this too. Is I used to hand my want list to dealers. I make 5 or 6 copies of my books I needed for runs, and I'd say, here, this is what I'm looking for, and then they'd come back and, you know, they'd say, okay, I think I have this, I think I have this. You know, some books I was looking for at the time, it was like ASM 50, whatever it was going. I was looking for at the time, completing a big run. I like when people gave me those too, and a lot of times I found out that trading became my best thing, was trading on the spot with people, or making deals where I see something on the boards that's really good, and I'm like, I know this guy collects, let's say, Avengers comics, and I've got another Avengers 4, got 2 or 3 of them at the time probably, and I said, let me see if you want this one. It's about a 4.5, 5. I'll get it slabbed, and if you want, or anything else, but you never know. You find people out there. So that was what they were taught nights. I was going to say, do you have any tips on maybe parting with books? Because I'm not a very good seller at it. I tend to make deals that are probably not. I bulk up things, which you lose money on if you bulk up, but sometimes I just rather have that $4,000 than for $1,000 transaction.
Well, I always figure if I'm trying to get cash, then I mean that's the worst place to be in typically if you want it fast, you know. But if you have good keys, people will always offer you something for them, which is nice. And then I'd have to say I do like the boards, but if it doesn't move within the first day, then I usually just say, hey, guess what? If you still want these, let me know. But I'm moving it elsewhere. And so you still kind of get an ad for your stuff, I guess.
Yeah, the boards is usually, if you're not one of the top 5 in the category, you might get overlooked. Especially another thing with the boards you have to do is, on eBay, you're competing against everybody, but they can search for you. A lot of people don't use the boards as a search function. They just see what's out there. It's more like digging in through long boxes or short boxes. You go through a guy's list of everything he's got, and you go through it and says, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. They might give you a hint of what's to come on the title, but they're not going to list everything unless it's 1 book or 2 books. But I'm talking about a guy who's got a whole thread going. When I did my threads, I usually would keep them up untouched for 24 hours and then added to them to bring it back to the top the next 24, and then I'd keep doing that, and a lot of times that would help. But
your friends will be like, cool book.
Oh yeah, you have people give bumps all the time. There's ways I've done it. I used to add a lot of gifs or pictures of attractive women on there to describe my books, and that worked out for a while until somebody complained, but that's what happens.
If you change the title of your selling thread, does it count as a change, and does it keep it up there?
Not if you change the title.
Ah, damn.
No, you have to put something in the body of it to move up.
And when I sell, everything's best offer, because you just never know.
Yeah, I always say, please submit. Please PM me offers. And a lot of times I'll do the PM deals, because a lot of times you get people that say, okay, I want those 2 pulps in that comic. That's what I get a lot of, those 2 pulps in that comic, or that comic and those 2 pulps. And I'm like, sure, no problem. I'll work it out. And that's always good. When I sell, but that's the main place I sell. I've sold on eBay like 5 or 6 times, and I've sold on the boards 30 to 40 to 50 times minimum. I've had threads out there, and a lot of those, what I do out there in the threads is the stuff that I pick up at these deals, where I parse through. I says, okay, I already have a good one, and I find a second one. That tends to be what I find myself upgrading a lot more now.
I keep track of my books, how much I spent on them, so really well. So I often, it might be worth more now, but if I know what I spent on it, and it sold faster, because I'm kind of like, I mean, if it's an amazing book, super unique, I might put it up really high on eBay and just sit it there for a long time and see what happens. But the other stuff, you just price it as with anything that has, especially if there's something that has like you got like 10 other choices for people on eBay or what,
Yeah.
just cut them and you get it quick. And
Yeah, I always say that like GPA, and this would apply more to like the superhero stuff, but for me, the way I look at GPA is a guide for buyers. And if I'm a seller of a book, if I'm selling books, I will go on GPA to see what buyers are expecting the price range to be. But as a seller, I don't use GPA to figure out how to price my books. I know what I have in them, and I know what kind of profit, what I need to make a profit. But I will look at GPA to see, okay, what are buyers expecting the prices of this to be? And I'll see what it is. Well, I'm not trying to get GPA for my book. I'm trying to get a profit. That's not the same thing. If I have $1 into a whole point 81 and it comes back at 7.0, I'm not trying to break a GPA record with that. I'm going to price move. But do I put it at $100? Do I put it at 1,000? Do I put it at 4,000? Well, let me go see GPA. What are buyers expecting the price range of this to be? And I'll see it, and I'll just know, okay, so that's the price range. Then I'll price it to move based on their expectations. That gives me a profit. So as a seller, I want profits. I don't want GPA. GPA is a guide to know what buyers are sort of expecting the price range to be. And as a buyer, I do that. I'll go on there. I can see what the market's going rate is for a book, and I don't want to pay more than that usually. But as a seller, I'm just trying to make profits as quickly as possible. And if you do that and you're always making progress and going forward, that's positive, and that's never a bad thing. You should never be upset if you're taking a profit on a book. And you should temper your expectations and try to make profit quickly and keep moving forward. These guys that want to set GPA records, I mean, I don't get it. I know a lot of these guys are far more successful than I'll ever be at this, but I mean, you just churn and burn and try to make profits and try to get your money back and put it back to work. And that's just my philosophy of it. So I probably
don't feel bad when you take a loss either, because I've heard people tell me this when I'm going through a hard time, maybe trying to sell a book, which I thought was I could get more faster for whatever reason, but they've told me, sometimes, just letting it go and taking the loss is better because you don't have to think about it anymore, like you can just kind of move on.
Yeah.
I mean, not a huge loss, obviously, but like, don't try to like screw up a sale just because you wanted like, $30 for like $5,000 comic.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably happened to all you guys before where you have a book at a price or best offer and you get an offer that's decent, but you feel like you want more. You're expecting more. So you say no, or you counter and they don't get back to you. And then that's it. You don't get any more. And that's happened to
me a lot.
You wish you could go back and accept that offer, but you screwed it up.
And then they always give you less.
Yeah, on auction, we're getting less than the initial offer, and I'm like, I should have just took that offer or got closer to it. So you don't want to be too greedy sometimes, because then stuff will get stuck with it. So.
And you get to know the people on the board sometimes, or just other sellers or the other buyers. And sometimes, if you're selling a bunch of stuff and they want one of your things, you can be like, hey, anything else you want in my list or whatever, and then you can give them like a killer deal on something else, and that they just can't refuse. But that you haven't sold, you're having a hard time selling maybe, but then you're like, bam, and then you only have to ship one box,
right?
Or book, instead of four books.
I do think that the obscurity of the Golden Age books that we love and deal with here, the obscurity of them generates less interest as opposed to you put out an F1 versus a, Chamber of Chills 19, two different books, two similarly priced books, I guess, around that give or take.
What do you say, Jeff? You're the expert on this, the wide range, I would guess.
Yeah, for the wide range of gold, it's interesting because it's so cyclical. Like we will literally sit on a book that we cannot sell. Okay, a Golden Age book. Okay, just like that Suspense 11 that sold for stupid price. Okay. I know people who've had that book last year and sat on it for a long time and couldn't get people to buy it. And then all of a sudden that book sells at auction for like 14K or something ridiculous. Like there's books where you will have in your golden age and you're like, oh man, I can't move this thing. Okay. And then all of a sudden it's a hot book and you don't even see it coming. Like it's just all of a sudden. And so that's interesting with the golden age, how that happens so quickly. And so with that said, yeah, it's just interesting how something can just be common for 2 years, disappear for 2 years, and all of a sudden it's a hot book again. You know, Human Torch 12. I haven't seen that really come to market in a while, and all of a sudden we had a 5.0 sell for 7,500 or some really high number. Okay, and then all of a sudden I see another one come to market, you know, privately. So someone's trying to capitalize on that. But that book before, you know, there was a couple years where you saw it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it was nowhere near as strong as that number. You know, same with Submariner 11. That book,
Yeah.
it's a good book, but now I've seen it a few times. It's still getting really strong numbers as it comes up, but it's another thing. You don't see it for a couple years. That's an opportunity, if you have it, to put it out to market and really, you know, maybe get a strong sale. But when you see a book 4, 5, 6 times a year, the same book, even though it's a cool book, I'll give you an example of that. Weird Tales Cap 73. We started to see that a lot. 73? 74. I forget. We see that we got to see that a lot for a couple years. That book was all over the place. And I think the numbers spiked and then they plateaued and almost even dropped, to be honest. And so just watch for that type of stuff with the cycles. The golden age, it all gets hot at some point. If it's a key, it's a key. It's a key now, it's a key later. It just has to not come to market for a little bit for it to really spike again.
Yeah, for gold, like rare stuff, I feel like it's almost like better value investing sometimes, but you're sacrificing liquidity a lot because it's not something you can sell whenever you want to sell it. You have to let the market tell you when you can sell it. So you get really good value for rare golden age, but you don't get the liquidity. Whereas you move into some of the superhero stuff, silver age, liquidity's through the roof, but you're not going to necessarily, it's not going to be as volatile. You're not going to make huge swings and huge profits over the course of a year necessarily like you can on a rare golden age. But the liquidity is not there. They're volatile, like Jeff was saying. Sometimes there's just none on the market, and then one couple come to market and they're sky high, and everybody's shocked because the last time they saw them, they were not selling anywhere near that, and then they disappear for a while again. Those are good books to get into, and I like getting into those. You got to be very careful what prices you're getting into these books and which ones, and then the timing. It's almost like it's a good investment, but I have no idea when the market's going to tell me I need to profit off of this.
You can really tell a lot about your investments when it comes time to sell them, because you might think, oh yeah, this is so liquid and I did a great investment and blah, 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 blah. And then when in some books, and I feel like there's a handful, maybe like 30 books, Silver Age and Golden Age, where boom, you can sell that day if you want, but in the Golden Age, because they're those top ones, they're so ridiculously expensive. A lot of the other ones, they can wait on it unless it's, of course, one of those hot ones. But yeah, it's interesting once if you've never like tried to sell anything, it can be very eye-opening for you.
Yeah, I had a Mask 1. It was a consignment from a friend of mine, but he asked me to sell it for him. And it was a Mask 1 CGC 1.0 blue label. And this was end of last year, maybe early this year. So, I mean, the book is red hot. So it could be perfectly liquid, right? Easy to move. It took me like, 60 days to finally sell that book. And it's just because it's not as move. You can't move it as quick depending on the price you want for it. I would have put $1,000. Yeah, I would have moved into it. But it's sort of, you have to go back and forth with a lot of people because it's not really set what's the value, and you just got to make sure you find the right buyers. You got to go back and forth. You got to have it out there, and it's like that's one of the hottest golden age books on the market this year. And I had one that couldn't move. I put this on eBay, and within an hour, it's got 20 bids and 150 views, and it's like you can move this thing instantly. This is like, you know what I mean? So it's weird when you get into rare golden age. The liquidity is out the window. Even though it's there.
I always use ASM 300 as my benchmark. It's the easiest book in the world to ever buy and sell. Always has been. Since, ASM 300 is ASM 300. Always gets good value. Kind of goes through some peaks and valleys, but not drastic. It always holds its own, and then eventually the higher grade, then the newsstand people go crazy for. But I always say, as easy as that is, it's that hard. As easy as that book is to sell and buy, it's that the opposite is any golden age obscure, and I mean pre-code horror, I mean a timely, and I don't mean your big keys. Forget Action 1, Tech 31, and that. I'm talking just standard golden age books that some of us here like a lot. Maybe the Action 13. I mean, they're harder, and the sellers sometimes are, how motivated the seller is, including when you're the seller, how motivated you are will drive what you actually will sell in your collection. I always joke with people. I said, if I'm ever hard up, I have this. But if I just want to start churning and burning, I have that row of books, this row of book. And I kind of have that whole thing where I've got my complete collections and stuff like that, which being a completist, I've done it. I got bored now. And now it's like, if I break up this set, it's going to be worth a lot.
That's why I always say sell, as much as your little thingies that aren't so hot as much as you can ahead of time. Because, if you ever need money, that shit is just,
Yeah, I don't use comics. They're not good retirement plans. So don't think about that. I mean, they're good for what they are, their value. I mean, this book has value. This is a good example. It's just, this book. But I was going through this, and I have every, every Jamie and mystery and every Thor up to 260 something. But it's just, I was just going through it saying, you know what? I'm not getting rid of it. I won't ever part with those. And I kind of collect and sell. I only do things I like. The patience that we have being golden age buyers and collectors shows you that we probably have the same patience when we sell. So I think that it kind of goes with the way we collect. I mean, I see people churning and burning and selling and buying the modern age books back and forth. But if you're focusing on the golden age, our selling and we have patience. I mean, we have to in golden age. If you're going for a book in a golden age, you have to have patience. It's not just going to appear.
Yeah, the thing that happens to me a lot of times in golden age is I fall in love with the book. When I love the book, I buy the book, I get it, and I love it. At some point down the road, I take a while considering to sell it. I know it's worth a lot more than I paid. I can make a big profit and move on to something else. And it's a debate with myself. And when I decide to sell it, and when I first put it out there, it's like now I'm in selling. I've like completely severed my emotional attachment to it, and now I want to get rid of it, and I can't stand still having it. It's weird like that. And it's a book that I absolutely love. And then as soon as I take that step and list it, then all of a sudden my attachment's gone, and now I just want to move it. And now I'm aggressive in trying to move it, and I'm wheeling and dealing it. And it's almost like I don't even like the book anymore. That's what happens. Yeah. Very weird. It's like
you see it and you're like, get it out of here.
Yeah, and it's like I can't get the book out of here. I can't. It's weird. That's what happens.
You have a few boxes of that, Jeff, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, man. I do. I mean, yeah, I got boxes I would love to get out of here, but again, like I mentioned, I don't know if you were here or not. Just I freeze at some point, and then things compile. Because I try to maximize every dollar, which isn't even necessary, but I do. And so that's getting past that, and I'm moving on in the next month.
But I think you can do that better as a golden age dealer than with modern or something that is more like on the whim of whatever people are out with.
Yeah, I mean,
you wait too long on like Luke Cage or like Captain Marvel 13 or something, and if you still didn't sell those, then you would have lost a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, golden age, the patience goes sort of hand in hand with you don't have to be in a hurry because the value is there. I don't like where books are like this is why I don't do modern stuff. Part of why I don't do it because the timing, you got to be on top of it for buying, for selling, for grading. Like, man, sending something off. If you're in a modern spec market and you're sending stuff to CGC and it's taking 3 weeks, that's a freaking eternity, man. But when I have golden age stuff, I got a stack sitting here. I'm not in a hurry, man. It'll go to CGC, and when it takes a month to get back, I was like, cool, that wasn't that long. You know, it took me 2 months to get off my ass and send it, and another month to get it back. 3 months, cool, not a problem with golden age.
Right.
You can take it, you can be patient, and it's conducive to those type of books in the market anyway.
Or if you have big, really nice keys, that can benefit you in a certain way just because you have to pay for their fast service. So you get that graded pretty fast. But someone mentioned you got to be golden age guys are like sharks. And I kind of felt like, I mean, I went with the eagle because I've seen the eagles dive
Swoop in.
into the sea and come out with this big old fish. And to get some of my best like grabs on auction, I like imagine I'm like this eagle, I guess. I don't know.
Catching comics going upstream with your big old eagle talons.
You come out of nowhere at the last second with like piles of cash beyond, oh my God, they would never think anyone would pay that much for that thing. And then bam, then you fly away and you got it. But
I mean, I personally have experienced ups and downs with Golden Age where I kind of had a hard time figuring out what I want. There was a point where I was collecting a certain style of book as well that it got to be, I could never really get the completest in there, but I wanted to do it. So I started collecting other kinds of, books that I liked by artists I liked. I found it easier when I wasn't searching that books appeared on the boards automatically. And one good thing about the boards is if you're friends with a couple of the guys that do their big threads, try to hit them up before they do a big thread. If they announce they're doing a big thread, you might be able to find something you look for because some of these guys have resources that we don't have. I mean, I don't know how many books Ricky has. I have no idea. But I know that these guys have enough books. And I was talking to Anthony Snyder, and I want to definitely, when weather's right, and definitely want to do a tour of his Jersey office and stuff like that. Because he has a lot of books a lot of them that are just middle of the road golden ages that are just great to look for, great to see, that aren't very common, and I think that's a good part too. I know we're going to have a spinner rack later on. If anybody anybody want to add to anything to the tips.
I wondered, Jeff, how much, like if you had, because I was watching Alex the Comic Hoarder had a show on before this. It was pretty cool. They were just going through I think it was the top most popular Silver Age and from Go Collect, I think. Right. And at first when I looked at the list, I was like, this is weird. But I guess it's probably volume sold or something makes it top or whatever. But like, I was surprised at like the books that weren't on that list. And I just wonder, like, when you're at a con, Jeff, like, would you say like of the stuff that's less than $500 or something, like, or maybe less than 1,000, is it the fastest moving is what? Like, I mean, just hot?
Anything under $200 and less, that's a key.
Oh,
it's going to move.
So that's like a super.
Pretty much $200-$300 less is a key for Silver Age. Is going to freaking move. That's kind of a threshold for I think a lot of people. A lot of people be stretching at 200. you got to think that we're kind of jaded with the demographic of people who spend money in the golden age for what our numbers are. If you want to talk about just silver age and the larger mass of people for what they actually put and feel comfortable putting money towards in a comic, I think $200 and less, $300 and less is probably a larger group of people who feel like they have a win when they can get a key for less than $200. So,
and has that number gone up and down in the last since you've been doing it in a big way?
Well, I mean, comics have gone up and down since I've been doing it too, so yeah. I guess that number has changed to an extent. I think you kind of get to the reality of that. You gotta, there is a minimum to get into a certain book at some point. So I think to each person, they kind of have what that is in their head. I've seen so many books and I've seen the market change so much that I don't feel right buying certain books because they've spiked so high that I'm not even comfortable getting into them, even though that's the new market, i.e. Hulk 181s. Okay. I was buying them, any that I could, for $400 or less 10, 15 years ago. Okay. And I don't really think I bought one in the last, I don't know how many years now, because I don't even feel comfortable. As much as I love that book, it's me getting past that mental block of having to pay that number because I saw it for so many years at a different number. So again, everyone's got their mental space of where they want to get into for a certain comic
That's how
book.
I felt about almost every book on that top 100 list, because I get to not now, but I'm just like, I love most of these books, but they've spiked so, and I've had so many years of being able to buy, X-Men 8 or something, some whatever, not nothing book, but I just feel like the spike is kind of, the time of the spike compared to the time I've collected is so small that I can't help but think that probably as more time passes, it'll just maybe go down, maybe it won't, but
I mean,
I don't know.
I look at FF5 as an example. I sold it about a year ago. It's just because it was 15 to 25 times more than I paid for it 2 years before that. Now, do I miss not having my first appearance of Doom? Do I like what I got instead? A lot more. That's what it is.
But
I could go on eBay and find 30 FF5s if I really tried,
Yeah, you'd always get it.
Some of the things I have, I could never find half this stuff anywhere, And that's, again, some of the weird things that I collect is it's a downside because it's a very narrow base.
But by the way, on a side note, I'm just going to mention this. I've been playing Fortnite with my son, and they have Marvel there right now. And Doom is one of the main characters, and he has the super ability that you can, after you kill him, you get these tokens. It gives you that ability, and he's so overpowering. But again, Doom is there. He's in your face. You know what I mean? They're not messing around. It's it's been a really fun season. I'm only mentioning that because I'm geeking out a little bit about it because it's so comic heavy. It's not usually like that.
Now you can relate to your kids.
I can. That's the only reason I played Fortnite, because my son was playing it. We waited for 2 years to even let him play. We're like, dude, it's a violent game. You're not playing it. You're too freaking young. He got into it. My wife and I used to play a lot of games when we were dating, but we stopped playing games for since Xbox One. That was the last time I played a game, and it was Halo 1. Okay. So her and I stopped playing after we had kids for a long time. And then now we're all of a sudden playing first person shooters, we never played before with him. Well, not even with him, because he's so good. We don't even play together, and when occasionally he'll ask me, and then I think he'll eventually get embarrassed and just leave because he's Dad, you're killing me. And so anyways, just saying, the Doom book, I get what you're saying. It's put that with so many other books, it's just hard to wrap your mind around some of these prices when you sell them for so low and then having to jump into them. Plus, if you trade it for something even better that you like, that's still just a win, because like you said, you can always replace that book, find it in a collection. Yep. That's Silver Age stuff you'll find in a collection. You just will.
If I want it, I could always say, I've had enough of that. Let's get a Doom.
It's true. It's true. I'll show you a book I'll give you an example of a book that's a Golden Age book that I think is super cool. And maybe one of these days it'll pop. It's one of my favorite Starling Comics covers. It's not even a Schomburg, because I think it's even better than Schomburg would have done. Okay, but it's this Starling right here. Okay, Starling
Oh, yeah.
Comics number 19. It's just
Yeah.
a great underwater Pyro Man cover. Sorry, I got this light that's like right here. You know,
But you got that.
Yeah, that's
it's just
badass.
such a cool book, right? It's a great book. I had this book raw, really, really nice one day, and I ended up selling it, and I regretted it the second it left my hands, which I've had happen in my life quite a few times. But I just can't keep everything, and I get in so much, and so I let it go. And this copy came along in a collection for a lot less, and I happened to find out that it was a Rockford pedigree as I was going through it. On top of that, you know,
Nice.
so 6.5 solid grade, one of my favorite covers. Okay. And I don't know. I don't think it sells for very strong from when I've looked in the past, but maybe one of these days it'll pop. But it's one of those books that's a really cool cover. Maybe it'll get acknowledged and noticed, and then it'll strike and hit. You know, so you just don't always know.
Well, that's a good example of something I talk about with collectors on a regular basis is don't get too wrapped up in the numbers and the data and what's been to market and what hasn't. That's all important. You need to keep up on the market and know what's going on. But a good rule of thumb when you're sort of in golden age and there's stuff that doesn't come up very often or is rare and maybe you haven't seen it before, if you think it's super cool, a lot of other people are probably also going to think it's super cool. Now, maybe it's not selling a lot. Maybe there's no data. Maybe you don't know what the price is. But if you think it's super cool and that's a good price, most likely that's a good investment because other people are going to think it's super cool. And sometimes the prices are just not there because the book hasn't been out there and people don't even know to put on their list. So like that book, I don't think I've ever had one of those for sale, Jeff. But if you offered that to me for like, this is obviously not going to do this, but if you said 3,000 for that, I'd be all over it. If you said like $4,000 on that, 45, yeah, I think I'd be all over it. I have no idea what it's worth, but for me, for that coolness factor, the pedigree, the condition, I would guarantee that's got to be a good bet because I think that's super cool for that price. Other people are going to think so too, and maybe it just hasn't come up, so people don't know about it.
I don't think I see it that often, that book. I think I've just been lucky to have seen it twice now. Once in really high grade, and then this is a really solid grade as well as a pedigree. Yeah. But I mean, I think I did see it sell at auction not too long ago, and I was like, yeah, whatever. But I'm excited to have it again, and I think it's just one of those cool books you don't, like you said, you don't see very often, and that's the thing with the Golden Age, because you don't see it often enough. People aren't exposed enough to it, and don't have that exposure that they just don't feel comfortable in getting into it, or they don't have that doesn't have that background interest that they see that they feed off of. You know, when someone sees a book that other people are talking about and hyped about, that automatically almost gets you excited about it to have the opportunity to buy something like that or get into it, because that's just what it is, man. We like what other people like too, or it excites you, or you don't really know about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, Joe Schmo likes it, and so does Sally Sue. Then you're like, I should like it too, or hey, that's something somebody else wants, so now I want it as well.
Yeah, I've got one like that. I've got that Crack Comics 51, which is the Reed Crandall. What's that guy's name on it? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's got the werewolf cover. It's a Crack Comics werewolf cover. Captain Triumph is on it.
Yep, Triumph.
It's a 7.5. It's a super high grade, super rare book. I think it's freaking awesome as hell. It's badass. And they just never come to market. And I think if I put that out there for $500, nobody would even make an offer. And I think nobody sees it. Nobody's interested in it. But I'm telling you, that book is so cool, and it's such a nice copy that I think it has way more value than the market has for it right now. But I guarantee that'll change because somebody will put their 8.0 copy out there, and then there'll be a 5.0 file. Somebody will pay up. Somebody will show it off on Instagram. It's like Jeff was saying, if there's a lot of background interest and it's popular, people want to be in. There's a lot of braggadocio that goes along with Golden Age. You want to pick up something that's hot so you can show everybody that you got it. If nobody's talking about a book and nobody's seen it, sometimes you're like, why should I pick this up? Nobody else is going to care. But sometimes that's a good time to pick it up. If you think it's really cool and it's rare and it's just awesome, you can't go wrong. And you got to take some risks like that sometimes too.
Sometimes I don't want to tell anyone. If I'm like not done I'm like, well, I love this whatever little niche I'm in. And then, but I'm like, I'm not done buying everything I need. So I'm just going to not tell anyone about that. It's kind of weird, I don't know if you guys ever do that. And,
You're muted there, buddy.
oh,
Jeff's muted. We can't hear him.
Jeff's muted.
There he is.
That's okay. I'm glad I didn't step on you when I was talking over you.
So, this was a book back in the maybe 8. I hope it hasn't been 8 years, but maybe at least 5, where it just wasn't that huge at all. I mean, there wasn't the Stanley thing, wasn't even going for it really at that point. But I remember being offered, because I bought it off the boards, and I remember being offered it high numbers for it, where I could have easily doubled my money or something. And it was just one of those books where maybe like that one you're talking about, Jeff, where you're just like, I just love this thing. Like, I don't even know what it's worth, but I don't see it often, and I want to keep it. And then later on, you're like, oh God, yeah, everyone finally caught up to you and knew how good it was. That could happen to that.
Yeah, there you
Now,
go.
this is admittedly not on the level of either of the 2 books you guys are showing, and it never will be. But a 7.5 of a book like that, I just think this is a super cool book. I would never get right now on the market what I think this is worth. But I mean, this is just an awesome book. It's super rare, and it's just got a really good quality, and it's a very high grade. And this is just an example of what you guys are talking about. It's not on the level of those books, but how do you value this? If you're looking at, if you're at a con and you see this on a wall for $500, you go try to look it up. You try to figure out what it's, just nobody ever sees this. It's a 7.5. Is that $500? Yeah, of course it is. I would buy this for $500. I got it for much less than that because nobody knows what it is, I guess. But this is an example of that, I think, for me. Now, maybe it will never be valuable, but there will be somebody at some point that will want to pay a good amount for this because it's just an awesome book.
Right.
There's a local guy here who has a book I want or did want, and I guess he's known for buying big keys and then putting them up on eBay, and he won't budge on them. And I think there's a few guys like this on eBay who they just won't. I tried negotiating, and they're just like, "Well, I think it's worth more than that, and I'll just keep it until it gets there." And they might be right in the end. Because they have them, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that ability to hold on to a book until it reaches a certain price point, then more power to you. That's your prerogative. That's not the person you have.
With the rare stuff, I guess, to more extent than Bronze Age or something.
Yeah, and if you don't need the money, if
there's 50 copies going for sale, then
a lot of these guys put their personal collection copies out there that they're okay if somebody buys it, and they're okay if somebody doesn't. So you put it at a sort of, I really don't want to sell it, but I will price, and you put all of them out there, and then occasionally somebody will pick off one for a very high price, and you're cool with it. I do that sometimes with books that I think, this book's been moving. I think I can get a really high price for it. I'll put it out there. I'm not looking to sell it, and people make offers, and I tell them no, and they get annoyed. Yeah, there's 2 types of books. There's books I'm trying to move, and then there's books that I would move for the right price, and they're all mixed together, and you can't tell as a buyer. But it's frustrating as a buyer sometimes when you try to make deals with these guys, and they just won't budge off these massive prices. But I think a lot of them are like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few times I put books up for, I don't really want to get rid of this. And I did want to mention this earlier, that if you have a book that's super rare and you can't find any data on it, it is a good way to gauge interest is by putting up for a high price on eBay. People get annoyed with this, whatever. But if you have a buy it now, a best offer, then people shouldn't get annoyed. They should just talk to you. But then you can gauge how much interest people have. And I did that a few times with some timelies, and they just sold like instantly. And I was like, Jesus, what the hell is this guy? And I was like, wow, like, I'm glad you bought, I didn't want to say anything, and then he was like, yeah, this is my 6th one. And I'm just like, oh God. So there's some crazy collectors out there who, 10 grand or 5 grand is not really much to them. So you never know. If you got something rare, they might just, they're like us too in a way. If they see something that they've been wanting, boom, you gotta get that immediately. And if we're seasoned enough to be like, I'm not gonna wait till I see it again for $100 less or something like that. Right. They're gonna to them that's $1,000 or $2,000. They're just like, boom, I'm buying it. So you never know. That's a good way. People get annoyed.
Yeah, I made an offer. There was a book. It was a small book, but it was 170 or best offer. I offered him 160. It basically was trying to get the taxes for free, and the offer was declined with no counteroffer. I'm like, why? It's 170, dude. I offered 160. I'm just trying to make it so when I have to pay taxes, it's like I didn't have to pay taxes. You know what I mean? The prices, and he just declined it, no counteroffer. Whatever. And then it ended up selling for 170 like 2 days later. That's fine. I mean, at that point I was like, yeah, you know what? Just keep it and maybe somebody else will buy it. It wasn't that big of a book, but yeah.
Well,
I mean,
automatic declines. You can do.
Yeah, auto decline.
But I've had it where I'm like, I almost want to keep bidding or offering higher just to see like would this idiot actually put this like decline up to like $2 below the price he's asking. Seems so stupid to me. But some of them, like, you get close. You give them like a really decent offer, and you could tell it's auto. And it's like, oh my god, what? Why bother? It's weird.
Yeah, if I see rare golden age listed though, like something really rare, and I haven't seen it before, and the price just in my gut seems ballpark, I'll just jump on it. I'll figure it out later if it was good buy or not. But if it's a golden age book that is badass and you've never seen it and it feels right, just buy it. Just jump on it, because that's the time to buy it. And if, at the worst, you're going to get most of your money back, and at best, you've got a gem. And I've grabbed some books like that, and I don't look them up. I don't waste the time. If it's golden age and it's badass and it's rare and you never see it for sale everywhere, or maybe you've never seen it, just grab it, man. I mean, you can't go wrong. That's sort of a golden age thing I do with rare stuff, like some of these rare MLJs, a blue ribbon, or the all new 8. My all new 8 came up on eBay. You never see that for sale. The data's not there. It came up and it felt like a decent price. I just grabbed it. You know what I mean? You never see that book, and it's awesome. So stuff like that. Sometimes you just got to use your gut and just grab stuff.
I will say be careful though. I will say be a little careful, because there's sometimes you think, especially having been in Golden Age for a while now, it's definitely like if I could go back in time and ask myself maybe 8 years ago or something, like, which one of these timelies are the rarest, like whatever, it would be a totally different list probably than what I'm now.
Well, the ones that work out more than make up for the ones that I overpaid because I jumped on too quickly and it's really not as cool as I thought. But the ones that are as cool as I thought and cooler, and I got a freaking steal on an awesome rare book, those more than make up for the ones that I don't get. So sometimes a fast trigger is good and you have to use your gut. Golden Age some of this Golden Age stuff, it's not like you got to look it up on GPA and see what it's going for. You just got to sort of have a feel for it and just wing it sometimes with your gut. And I feel like the wins or the scores more than make up for the lesson.
What do you say, Jeff?
I say, yes, I was burned once pretty good on a book because it was so freaking cool, this cover. There wasn't much data on it. It was a great cover. I was like, wow, I've never seen this book. Like, my gut's similar to you. Like, I've been around enough Golden Age. If I don't see a book and it's got like all the characteristics and traits of a book that I feel should have a high value to it, the way it's drawn, what's depicted on the cover, then yes, I know that, like, listen, I've seen enough books to know that I don't ever see this book. And then, I correlate that with the price and kind of what I compare other books of similar caliber to be. And then I'll jump on it or not. This one was one of those books, man. I was like, wow, this is a cool book. And then all of a sudden, after however many years this book has never been to market, all of a sudden one goes for sale at a high grade and just craps the bed completely. I was like, really? Really? This is my comparison now as a book, and
Right.
that I bought. Like, come on, man. So yeah, I mean, it happens, but for the most part, again, I regret the books that I didn't buy more than the books that I did buy. So that's always the bigger regret, is not picking it up more than
Do you ever
buying it.
regret books that you maybe took a little bit of a loss on, but you ended up just moving it?
A little bit of a loss on ended up moving it.
Usually, like, and I'm
Probably.
talking 10% or 15%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's books that I'm glad to finally have moved because maybe
Yeah.
they didn't perform like I expected. Again, I have books that I've sold that I regretted selling, of course, like we all do over and over again. Especially one like 3-4 months ago that I was hemming and hawing on this book forever. And I finally decided to sell it. And I didn't really look the numbers up like I probably should have because I was overwhelmed with a bunch of other books. And then, of course, right after I sell it, there's a huge auction sale on this book. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? To the point where I was like so like frustrated about it that I was like, maybe I didn't sell it. Maybe it's still here.
Yeah.
Maybe I forgot wrong. Maybe I thought about this wrong. Maybe I didn't sell in that auction that of books that I had. I haven't been able to find it, so I guess I sold it. But
I want to do a quick shout out to Read or Die, bringing up Kid Cowboy 1. That's a Ziff Davis book. And just to let you know, that cover, that painted cover, is done by the great John Buscema. Not just that, the pencils, the inks, the coloring, the paint, all done by John Buscema. Very early work of his. It's a lot of those stories were reprints from a few other earlier books, but not many, but like one or two stories from different books. But good book, Key Cowboy 1. It painted cover. Archie's Madhouse Annual 3. They told me straight up they couldn't tell me. That does happen.
You got to be able to, if you're buying online, and if there's any doubt about the pictures or the condition or the seller, just pass. There's plenty of opportunities out there. If I don't have a want list, I'm an opportunist, so I go for things that pop up, what I come across, what I see, and don't force a situation. Don't try to convince yourself of something. Just go with what you can see and go with the facts, go with what you see on the book and go with that. Don't try to fill in the gaps with hopes and dreams. Like, there's no back cover photo, so it's probably great. And then you get it, there's a huge tear on the back. If there's any doubt, just pass. And you can, there's other opportunities, because a lot of times we'll fill in the gaps of our knowledge on a certain book online with hopes and dreams and faith, and we really want it to be what it is. If you're not sure, just pass. And there's always more opportunities, even if it's rare and it's one of those books that I'm saying pull the trigger on, and you're not sure. It's okay to pass, and then when it sells, then you will know whether or not you made the right decision. Because when it's gone, you're like, shit, I should have got it. Or, yeah, that's all right. But either way, there's always more opportunities. So try to be smart with it and go with your gut, but go with good knowledge and info also.
I've also had some good deals on books that were like the worst shipping photo you could ever think of. Like,
Really?
and like sometimes you can, I always feel like you're taking a chance no matter what, but you can do a lot of homework on the situation. You can see what this guy has sold. If he's selling like, weird estate knickknacks and like, there's no comics ever for sale ever on anything that he was, you search his name all over the place. If these guys come up as anything comic, anything, then don't do it. But if sometimes you get these weird people who just don't, and they're not going to take another picture for you, or they think the picture's fine, or they're just too busy keeping all their silverware from the estate fine that they can't. So I got a nice Hulk 1 because the photos were just so bad that, and it was a CGC, but it was still like, it was so blurry. And then, it wasn't like an amazing deal, but it definitely would have, if he marketed himself like properly, he would have got way more money.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah.
can take risk, but just be honest with yourself to know the magnitude of the risk you're taking.
Yeah.
Don't jump into something with hopes and dreams that the back cover's great or
Yeah.
that, you know, there's something blurry pictures or, you know, sometimes there's that one key part of the book you want to see and you scroll to the picture and he's got a picture of it and it's blurry or it's fuzzed out. That's sketch, man. That one picture that's clearly the issue on the book and it's like a sketchy, blurry photo. So if you want to do it, just be honest with yourself that you know the magnitude of the risk you're taking, and then it's okay if you want to take the risk. But you gotta, it's difficult. You just try to have as much knowledge and you know what type of risks you want to take. We all take risks, and you have a certain level of risk you're comfortable with. Just try to stay within that and try to make good decisions. And you get better over time. And we all make mistakes. I lose money on books. I'm not.
And don't risk take like what's that expression? Keeping up with the Joneses, because like people risk take who are not in your same demographic, right? So big time dealer guy or whatever like can afford to take risks where you can't, you know. So don't always like try to just think it's.
Some of these guys are taking risks, and you're like, well, if they're doing it, then I could do it. They might just be showing you the good side of it. The awesome book on the front cover, they're showing you, look what I scored. You don't know how much they paid. You don't know if they got burnt on the condition. I mean, just because you see people doing things, they might only be showing you the good part of it. So just stick to your plan and do what you think is right, and don't go by other people. The only thing, other people can give you a good sense of how much demand there is for a book, but even then, a lot of it's artificial, because if you see a lot of people getting into a book and you know that these guys are flipping a lot of books, that gives you a lot of, it's like if you're into stocks and there's a lot of shares short, the short float is huge out there. You know, there's a lot of ultimate selling pressure coming, and that will crash the price of any commodity. So if you see
really short, the short squeeze, and you might get a buyer opportunity too.
Yeah. Well, you can look at the percent, like stock, you can look at the percent of shares that are short. And if it's really high, that tells you that there's a lot of potential future selling coming. You know, so you got to be careful if you see people posting a book. It might be artificial demand too, because a lot of them might all be flippers or sellers. And if they're the ones all into the book, it's sort of artificially raised the price. It's not genuine PC purchases.
Just going to touch real.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to touch on the whole risk versus reward aspect of it. And if you are going to play that game, which again can be very profitable or even be very exciting, but could also be just as, you know, crushing at the end of it. Also, just this little thing, if you do that, and you make sure to send a message to them how you want them to pack your book. If they don't know comics at all, I think I've done this many times where if I feel this person has no idea how to ship a comic because they're new to selling comics, I send them a message how they should ship them. And I think for most of the time it's been very positive and receptive because they truly don't know and they want to get you this item, you know. And we've all been in that situation where someone ships a comic just poorly, and it's just like all of a sudden you have this opportunity to get something really great and special, and then it gets, you know, damaged in transport.
That's a great point. I got one of those amazing deals where but thankfully, and I was too young to know to tell them to do that, because I figured, you know, it was pricey, so I figured they would just know you pack this well, right? Because it's a lot of money. But it was like in like this weird cellophane, like not even stealable, but at least it covered the book. And then it was packed in 2 pieces of wood, like really thin, but like yeah, that thing was never gonna get that. But still, it was just like, what the fuck? You know, when I was opening the box, I was just like, oh no, like, is this one of those like where you get like nothing in the box or something? But like, thankfully, you know, it was like the opposite of what you usually get, which is like they just put it in a freaking envelope. And then
I've never opened this. This is a book that came to me in an envelope. I'm keeping it like this. I'm never. It's my example of. I just said I don't want to know.
Just don't want to know.
I keep it sealed.
I've had worse. That looks a little thick, maybe, but
No.
that's not.
It's thicker, bro.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
it's in your mailbox, folded.
I bought another one right away from. I said, "Dude, are you kidding me? You shipped it like this?" He goes, "I never did comic books before." I'm like, "All right, ship me another one."
I recently bought some old manga from.
I
This
saw
dude.
on your Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't those, thankfully. But these are the pretty big books. Like they're pretty thick. You know. And I got like it wasn't this one, but it was like 3 of these, and it was pretty cheap. And it was one of those like I'm buying this now, like immediately, and you feel all like smug because it just went for sale and you bought it immediately when probably maybe no one even cared. But it came in the mail, so there were like 3 of these, right, in a box this big with nothing else.
Oh no. No filler.
No bags. I mean, manga. I don't know if it's thought of like comics, but still, I was like, what the, and like that much clearance of nothing, not even bubble wrap, nothing. It's just like, oh my God. Yeah, these people. And he claimed he was all apologetic because I gave him good feedback, but I said, not the best packer, or next time use at least wrap the books so they don't move or something. And he like wrote me back all like apologetic, and he's like, yeah, I didn't know how to pack it, and I gave it to the post office guy to do it for me, and that's just what he did. It was like, Jesus. If you had a really nice comic and they did it like that, yeah, that thing would be toast.
It would be one of my worst eBay stories. What's that?
What's the worst packing you've ever
I'll
seen?
tell you. It was on eBay. I got a steal of a deal on a comic. It was an all winners one. Okay, this was many years ago. God, many years ago. And I'm not talking Blonde Phantom all winners one. I'm talking about the one with all the real heroes on top of it. Okay, yeah. I got a great deal on it. And this was a long time ago. I think at least 10 years ago plus. And I go to my mailbox to pick up this package, and I'm like, oh, why do I have a poster tube here? And I was like, huh. And so I open up this poster tube and I shake it out, and it comes out this all winners one in a Ziploc bag rolled up in this poster tube. And I shake it out, and it's got like flaky pieces all inside the Ziploc bag. Okay. Because the paper quality wasn't that great on the cover. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can't even really complain at this point because I got such a screaming deal. But I was like, this is ridiculous. Who thinks that you can roll up a comic book and throw in a poster tube, which is probably more expensive material wise than just
hard to get.
I was like, oh my God, this is the part of the karma of getting a steal of a deal, I think. But anyways, that was probably my worst shipping,
I got a GSX1 mailed to me, and it was in a paper bag like you bought at a record store, and then a priority mailbox. So it came quick. Didn't come damaged. I mean, I still got a 7.5 out, a 7.0 or 7.5. I think a 7.0 out of it, and flipped it pretty good because I only paid $220 for it.
That's just the luck of whoever was delivering that day, really.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. Anybody grease your postal worker come the silly season. Grease them. I give them $50 to $100 every year for Christmas, and I say,
"Oh, really?
Keep an eye on my stuff." I do it every year. Him and UPS, because the amount of shit my wife orders from Amazon, I could start a fucking channel on that. What my wife got from Amazon today, they come up. But by doing that, I know when they tell me, because I got a damaged package from Italy this recently of some original art, and the art's kind of damaged a bit, and I'm not blaming the guy because he was there, but he was like, dude, this got damaged over there, not here, because he sent me the picture of it. He had it on his phone or the device, his tablet. So it happens. So, but I'm gonna frame it.
Sometimes it's not their fault.
It's not.
They got these robots here, these big Voltron guys, from this dude that I know personally, and he packaged the shit out of it. But when it came in, the box was like open, And the guy just kind of dropped it. He's like, and he looked at me like, I'm like, what is that? And he was like, gone. But I was like, like this thing is open. So I'm like taking pictures, sending it to my friend. I don't know, dude. This is it. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. If you have a regular guy, yeah, you should give him a good gift.
Yeah, I know they are. They grease you. They take care of you, and they tell you if there's damage, and they fill out the insurance. Like one time, I did have something. It wasn't for a comic; it was electronic, and he told me what to do with the insurance right there, and I got it in a week, which never happens. He goes, "I'll put it in full for you." He put it in with his supervisor right away and got it back for me. I mean,
well, it sounds like it could be used against you too, then, because one time the worst selling experience on eBay for me, I sold a Golden Age book, like $2,000-ish price, and the dude like literally like an hour after we sent it off, he's like, "Yeah, I need to cancel this. I don't want it. Like I could blah blah blah," and I'm just like, "Dude, like I sent it. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do?" And like, I think it's pretty lame to like, because it was like he's like said something about a con he went to, and it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, this isn't like, like it's a pain in the ass to have to ship all this crap, especially if it's a big like that, because you're nervous about it. And then he was all pissed, and I'm just like, what? And he's like, well, we'll see what happens. So the dude refused it, which I guess you can do if you're home or something. You can just be like, no way, I'm not taking that package. You send it back. You don't. How dare you leave that? Don't leave that. Like, I don't know what you even need to say to your guy if they try to give you something and you're like, send it back. Seems really strange. But
yeah.
So I got like I was tracking it or something, and it said like refused or whatever. And then it took forever to get back. It took like almost 4 weeks to get back, because I think refused mail, returned to whatever, they're just like, oh Jesus, and they like chuck it where God knows in what. But the thing was, the box was mangled. I double boxed it. It was still mangled up, like shaking like crazy. The CGC was cracked, of course. And I mean, it looked like someone stomped on the thing. So like in my mind, he's like, well, I greased my UPS guy. And the dude, maybe the guy was like, oh, you don't want this? All right, yeah, we'll send it back to the asshole. And then, you want to step on it? Go for it. So they like crack it. And, all right, yeah, I'll send this back. I'll send it back as slow as, and of course PayPal paid, him everything, like I was completely helpless. I don't know if they fixed that kind of loophole on eBay, but that's a pretty shitty one. And I guess if you're really stuck, you could always do the refuse shipment. If you want to.
I've done a few returns on eBay, and I've never had a problem doing the returns. eBay handles it pretty well. There was one time where I returned something, and eBay said, your refund is on the way. And then it would say declined by the seller's bank. So I contact him, and he said, oh, well, the money should be there, whatever. So I had to wait a few days and contact eBay, and they're like, you're right, it wasn't clear, to do it again. And the second time it said declined by seller's bank. And I had to open a case with PayPal again, or with eBay again. And then I got the money, and it wasn't clear to me if it came from eBay or the guy's bank at all. I was done with him at that point. But I got the money, and it sounded like he just didn't have the money in the account that was linked, so that I wasn't going to get it back. But then eBay gave it to me back after the second time. It didn't work. So I think eBay is pretty solid, but whenever you have to return something, it's a process, and it's frustrating when that happens, obviously, but you just got to follow through. I think eBay's pretty good with returns. I've had a few, and I've not had any issues with it.
Well, yeah, you could just refuse a package.
Yeah, I mean,
I never heard of that. That was such bull. And then eBay was like, oh, I haven't heard about this before. That's PayPal's problem. And then PayPal was like, you got to talk to eBay. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is fucking, and like, yeah, it was like, and then they're like, well, we can't do anything until you get the thing back. And I'm like, so then, and then it was like 3 weeks or more. And then they, it was wrecked. And then to top it all off, and I've told this story before, I claim that because I'm like, oh, all right, well, I got insurance, and they say, you mail stuff off, they cover it. They give me, and I do the claim, and I think it's easy for them because they're like, well, someone paid for this, so I guess it's worth that much. So whatever, I had to send it to them, which I thought was funny. I always wonder where the hell that comic ended up.
Yeah.
But and then as soon as I get the check, they cancel my insurance. I was like, what?
Really?
They're like, yeah, well, it's all numbers. If we feel that you paid us this much over that amount of years and it's not worth the blah, blah, blah. And if we looked into your eBay account and you sell stuff enough that you should be, you should be a dealer and all this. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I talked to them a lot and they amended my insurance. So I got to keep the insurance. I didn't have to pay for a dealer's insurance, but they will, if they think you're not, if they think you're like trading enough that they think it's not worth it to them to have to pay out something, they'll just cancel your account. So be careful with that. Don't expect, you'll probably get that pay, back, but they might cancel.
My insurance agent about it, and I keep him very well apprised, and we've had email conversations about it as well as on the phone. So it's documented. He knows that I'm selling, and he knows that I'm buying, but he also knows that the bulk of what's insured, the insurance, the bulk of it is for stuff that's in my PC. And he knows that I'm selling books on the side also. And it's documented in the emails, and he says basically, guys, most comic book guys are selling. If you're doing it at a really high volume, you would have to do a commercial policy. But from what he's telling me, it sounds like you can do a pretty good buying and selling on the side and still be okay if the bulk of what you're doing is keeping books and you're a collector. So I think I fall mainly on the collector side because 90% of the value of what's insured is my PC books.
Well, it's
Right.
never a problem until you have to try to claim something.
Yeah, I haven't got a claim yet, but I'll tell you, I've made the email documentation of it so that it's clear if we go back through and have a dispute at some point that I am selling, and he was well aware that I'm buying and selling on the side. But the majority of the money that the coverage is for Golden Age books in my PC. So yeah, I think it's good to document that because if you were a dealer, it's a different policy than if you're just a collector. There's two separate policies, and it depends on your insurance company too, I think.
Yeah. Good point.
Yep. I think in some instances it's worth not just getting, whatever insurance you can from the post office or whatever, because you don't want to jeopardize your nice insurance.
Yeah, I go through other routes first. I go through the post office, or I've had stuff damaged at CGC and I didn't make an insurance claim. I just dealt with CGC, and I got probably less than I would have gotten from my insurance company. But I didn't have to put a claim with my insurance company. I just went through CGC and they reimbursed me, and that was is good because I didn't have to have an insurance claim. And I've gone through the post office before also and just done it that way.
And I think now there's more seller protection from PayPal, which it wasn't as robust as it is now. Because I've been looking at it in the past year or two, and it looks pretty nice. They give you exact amounts about how much they protect you and all this stuff. It's pretty nice. I don't think you need to worry about it as much as maybe something falling through the cracks like my book did. But yeah, do we still want to do this rack spinner?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, I'm ready when you guys.
Okay, bring it up so I can share your screen so I'll set it up.
Yep. Let's see what's going on.
Wolf Blitz, how are you? Great having you here. Here we go.
All right. See it? Is it working? All right. So 1947 is where we left off. We went all the way up to 46.
Right.
And 47 August. Here we go. I thought this was a pretty cool robot. And also like maybe the first robot powered by, I don't know, maybe Atom. That could be cool.
Style, yeah.
And we got, I think we talked about this before, the Joker, where he's changed his mind and whatever. I thought this was funny because the kids comic with the, thing, some smoking's something you wouldn't see nowadays.
Well, and you notice he's in the jail outfit. So if you smoke, you're probably going to end up in jail.
And
Well, and in hell.
Dog Hell.
That's a cool book, though. I like that one.
I like how the girl, the lady's
me
like,
too.
rubbing her eyes. It's so hot in there. Pretty good. What publisher is this? Do you guys know?
Is
Jeff has one.
the first?
Yeah,
I think one of the,
yeah, I have
isn't
several.
one of
here.
the first Haha's a early Frazetta. Is it
I'll grab one real quick. I have it right
I
here.
think a very, very, very young Frazetta did a Haha one time.
I've never owned a Haha. I have owned a lot of Crystal Fables, and then I know the timely ones. I don't know what this is. Maybe Magazine Enterprises or something. Might even be a Harvey.
I was thinking Harvey.
I don't know.
Here's another hot one over some hot coals.
This is good. Senorita Rita, is she in there?
I don't know why Kanga is so like helpless there.
He always is. He's useless.
Well, no, is that
The
Kanga was that?
artwork and yeah.
What's the girl's name? Which one is it? Lula?
No, that's Camilla.
Oh, okay. Because she's not really putting up a fight there. Maybe she's drugged.
Maybe she likes it. Junior Miss. Yeah.
I thought this was kind of neat. I couldn't tell what the hell this cover even was until I realized like that's supposed to be a stadium way down there. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's about the boy if I want to see the Seahawks.
I don't know if you guys figured it out or not.
No, what you got there, Jeff?
Creston Publications. Creston.
Okay.
Creston Publications.
I never heard of them, really.
Yeah, right? I don't know if it changed later, but this is for issue 20. That was 46.
Infant.
This is a cool one.
Yeah.
This is one that I saw on eBay about a year and a half ago. I'd never seen it before. Nobody really was talking about Manhunt issues back then. And it was like a graded 4.0 or 4.5 for like $300. And I'm like, man, that is so cool. That's got to be worth that. And I thought about it and I didn't buy it. If it happened today, I'd be all over it. But at the time I didn't, and then it sold. And, now that it's gotten out in the market, it's super popular and people know what it is, and now it's worth a lot of money. But yeah, this is a badass book. Really, Ogden Whitney cover.
Ogden Whitney, that's what I was thinking.
Early too for
Thinking-
this kind of stuff. I'd say, yeah. And got the spanking aspect of it. And, yeah, it's
See,
great.
I saw this book, and I've seen it so many times prior that it just wasn't a very strong seller for a long period of time. And then all of a sudden, this book got hot because the market hit right, people were into horror, and younger Golden Age collectors were getting into it, and I think getting exposure to Golden, they're like, oh, wow, that is freaking dope. But for a long time, you would see that book, and it just wouldn't get that much attention when it came up.
Yeah, now VG copies are like $1,200 or something.
Wow.
What publisher is this?
Manhunt?
I don't
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, no problem. Here we got a Phantom Lady, rather weak one, I'd say, maybe.
People
But-
love that cover. That's very
Yeah.
popular. People
mean-
love that is the number 2 of the run.
Really?
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2, but it's
Yeah. I mean, they love it. The headlights, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
that cover does nothing for me. Absolutely
There's
nothing.
nothing for me either because I don't think it's
No.
Matt Baker either.
boring. I don't
I
know.
don't
That
even
look
think
in her face is like.
I've often
Yeah.
said that does not look like Matt Baker, and there's nothing on it that says it's him. Just CGC says it is.
That's a real expensive one, though, right?
Very expensive.
It's not like you see it very often.
I think 14, 17. What's this? 20, 21?
This is 14.
That's not,
14. Yeah, that's part of the group that are very expensive. 14, 17, 21.
I'm
But
not
I
a
don't
GGA.
think it's Baker, and I don't think it's a Baker. I know people love the headlights on it. I think it's the worst of the bunch.
Yeah.
Of those 3, I should say.
There's another Hell one. I don't know. 47 Hell is popular theme, I guess. But I never even heard of this title. It looks like, yeah, it's an EC, so it's got to be a pretty early EC.
Yeah, I've heard of the title. I have one that's about electricity, I think. There's a couple of them I've seen. I don't know if I've seen that one. These
weird.
are novelty to crack open and read because it gives you an overview of the technology and like the modernization at the time. It's very cool to read, especially ones about atomic energy or physics related stuff or astronomy or space. They're always the coolest ones. Rockets, stuff like that.
yeah, well, EC stood for Education Comics at one point, so you also had picture stories
Really?
from the Bible as well. So,
Wow. Education.
Yes.
I never knew that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
so
the Bible, that's right.
yeah, picture stories from the Bible as well, and
Yeah.
other stuff.
Wow, they really took that to the opposite spectrum of.
You can, yeah, you could thank Gaines' son, Bill Gaines.
And this one is just weird, like stories from science. Yet it's got these like dwarf leprechaun guys given like a tattoo or something. I don't know. In hell, really strange.
Yeah,
I don't see what's scientific about
I
that.
like how the bottom it says amazing discoveries about food and health. Like,
And who are these guys in the corner?
Yeah.
Like these circles, like they don't tell you anything, but you're supposed to know maybe.
they're the
Oh.
symbols for heart disease and fitness.
They endorse this comic. It might have been like a sign of what was to come. This, I would assume.
Schoenberg, Zilla.
Yeah. What is that?
Zila.
Yeah, what number is that?
That's
60,
number 62.
62?
Yep.
Yeah, it goes jungle for about 4 issues in a row.
She's trying to get a matching pair of robe for her leopard
He wants
outfit.
a cape or a.
I want a new purse. That's a woman.
I want a new purse. Oh God.
Funny 'cause it's true. That's one of my favorite Zoot comics. Yeah,
Rula, and
Rula
is this
the
like
Jungle Girl. Yeah,
against her rival here?
she's in a few of them, but she changes her outfit not as much as Rula has her own title at this point too. So usually this
These
is
characters-
did a lot of Zoot of this one as well as Baker. So
It's interesting. It's got a land octopus there.
mm-hmm.
Land.
Got the plant that eats people in this one.
Very
That's
rare.
funny.
Also,
I got a robot here for DS. What do you think, DS? Does this fall on your Golden Age robot?
No, I mean I couldn't tell you exactly why it doesn't, but it's too
It's hokey and dumb.
It's not dark enough. It's just I don't know.
It's
It
weird.
looks silly. It's just dumb.
Are those superheroes inside it? I don't know.
You know, it's those machines that I don't like because it's just like because they make it metal and it's got rivets that's considered a robot. It's like, no, there's a difference between a real menacing robot and then a blocky riveted piece of metal. That's like, what? That's just, ugh.
And
God.
they put claws on it too, on the face of it.
Yeah, that's kind of the robot I've seen, and it looks like there's people controlling it anyway, so it's not really a robot.
It's just interesting, I guess. You know, life after the war. This is it. Hey, you know what? You know what? This
But,
guy's
you know,
been through the war. He saved our country, God damn it! And you're giving him a ticket for parking here?
Yeah.
And the MM, what would that be for? For is that her?
Miss Mask.
Miss Masquerade, I think her name is.
You know
Miss
who I
Masquerade?
am?
Yeah.
Imagine trying to tell a cop to not give you a ticket when you're wearing a full superhero outfit. Yeah. I don't know.
It's never worked for me in an outfit or out of an outfit.
Here we go. The Joker one. I forget. You guys like this one?
Oh yeah, I do.
It's one of my favorite of the run.
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, first appearance Vicky Vale. First appearance of God, I can't really forget his name. One other character, villain.
It's a pretty classic Joker cover too. Yeah, I mean, there's some of the Joker covers where he's this big menacing figure. This is one, and then that like Tech 69 is one with the two guns. Yeah, it's the classic Joker cover. I like this
I
one.
like the kind of more gangster, scary Joker versus the like shirtless, maybe nude, turban wearing Joe. I don't know. It's weird. You think he would paint his whole body? Is he paint his white? Is his skin white, or does he paint his skin?
Well, he fell in and it bleached his skin, right? So
Okay, so that bleached everything.
One story, yeah. He's got a few origins.
That's kind of interesting, then, I guess. For a shirtless Joker, maybe.
Yeah.
Here's the robot one you do like, yes.
I do like that one, and I sold my copy because I want to upgrade.
6?
Yeah,
Oh.
I did sell it. I got a good profit on it, and I wanted to upgrade anyway, so I figured, well, let me sell it now and get the profit. And it's not a hard book to find. There's quite a few of these out there, but I do miss it. I'll get another one.
It is higher than 6.5. It's hard to find.
Well, I mean, I want like something in the 6 to 7 range with good bright colors. It doesn't have to be perfect, but there's enough of them out there. I feel like I have a good shot of picking up a really good copy. The one I got before was just, I didn't have one. I really liked it. There was one. Let's get that one. And it was a nice copy, and I made a good profit on it. I knew I would miss it, and I do miss it, and I will get another one. But yeah, I absolutely love this cover.
Nice. Yeah.
Here's one that, for some reason, I like it. I don't know. It's weird. But
Gulliver's Travels?
I just wouldn't spend a lot on this. I don't know.
The wee males. That's what they called it. The wee males.
The wee males. Yeah.
Weird Tales of the Wee Males.
Oh God.
Rap is just, he has nothing to do. He's just fooling around town. He's like homeless.
What year is it? 51, right?
No, 48.
No, it can't be that
Oh,
way.
48. Okay.
48.
Like,
Yeah.
started to jump the shark here.
When you start doing
Weird
Gulliver's
Tales of
Travels,
the wee males. I mean, that's got to be Stan Lee, probably. Speaking of Stan Lee, this is, I believe, a Jack Kirby, but whatever I was looking at, it didn't say. Looks very Kirby to me. And we got, and for some reason, I don't know, I felt like there was something important about this book, but I couldn't find anything, but I threw it in there in case you guys, is this an artist that we know or something? I don't know.
Well, I think, didn't Simon or Kirby do some work on this title?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a cool cover. All right, we got. Oh, I love this one. I definitely.
Crimes Against, Crimes Women.
It's a good
hard to find. I just don't see Crimes for Women, period, very often, or I just don't look hard enough. But it just seems like one of those books you don't just happen into. Have you seen a lot of these, Jeff?
I have. I've had quite a few,
Nice.
and they're great. It's a great run. It's a great run. I really
Well,
like
it
it.
must
I mean,
be something people keep, I guess.
I see them on eBay a fair bit, and they're usually lower grade. But I've seen this on eBay several times in the last several
Yeah.
months. I think.
Is this one of the top ones?
it's one of the better one. That there's also a cat fight one as well.
Yeah,
between like two
There's
inmates. And
the crimes by women with the green cover, with the green dress lady. That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have the one cover with the girl on the motorcycle too? Is that the same title?
that is hardcover. I don't think so, but I think I know which cover you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Similar category. I get them confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one's called.
Girls fighting.
That's a good one.
These Dagger, I've never had one. I bet the stories are fun, but the covers are very flat to me. There's not a lot of depth to them.
I think there's a couple that will stand out for you if you look too. There's one with a great lizard on it, and another one, I think, with a snake on it. I think.
Yeah, there's a few Dagars with some that are really popular. I think it's another Fox, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
think Dagger.
Same year, the Riddler.
First Riddler on a cover.
I think this is heating up, right? I heard something about a new Riddler maybe coming to.
Yeah, he might be in the new.
That movie, this book has been hot anyway, though, because it's a big key. And I think of the Batman villains, this is the only villain first appearance where he's also on the cover. Because all the other first appearances, they're not on the cover.
That's cool.
Penguin. I thought
Joker.
isn't Penguin riding in?
No, that's the second one.
That's the second one.
That's his first cover appearance. Detective 58 is his first appearance, and he's not on the cover. It's a horrible cover. Horrible cover.
I always thought the Penguin first one he was riding an ostrich, but that's the second one.
Yeah, I wish that was the first appearance cover. Would have been 10
This
times
is the
better.
only Batman villain where the first appearance, he's also on the cover.
Well, Poison Ivy, right?
Well, I'm talking Golden Age.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this almost doesn't. It almost feels like a Silver Age book to me for some reason. I don't know why.
It does. It reminds me of one. Just the artwork is better.
Marvel was definitely using the shorts.
Yeah.
You can see there's a few of them here.
Yeah.
Here's another Kirby. That was pretty nice. He's definitely getting up there. Like you could see, he's coming to his skills where he, can make Fantastic Four and all those other books in like such a short time. There's another Stan Lee's like, raise the skirts. Oh, and this one, I don't know. I just had the.
That's there's a woman around the corner that has that book in there. That book, the Patsy Walker thing, she's shown it to me with that cover in shit condition. But I said, that's probably quite Chuck Connors-esque. It's one of the best.
I mean, you gotta, if you have that wood cover, you gotta have this one too, right?
Right.
The long one. This one.
Oh, that's cool.
Great. I haven't.
There's some good ones in that time frame for modern comics.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
Madame Butterfly is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is cool.
I'm not sure what she's pouring there.
I have a nice copy of that I can tell you later.
Moon Girl, kind of a stiff drawing, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, I like the Cyclops.
Yeah.
Don't see too
This
many.
is a funky title. Yeah, you don't. You're right. It's a funky title. Moon Girl changed so many times.
Education Comics.
Yeah. It started with, I think, Moon Girl, and then was it at Moon, A Girl, A Romance, and then it became something else. It was like 3 titles. Oh no, it was Moon Girl and the Prince, and then Moon Girl, and then Moon, A Girl, Moon, A Girl, A Romance, or something like that.
See, I like this one way better than that other.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Although I
Yeah,
could see
well,
this maybe being cheaper than the other one.
this one has more texture to it, so to speak, where the other one seemed sort of, I don't know, stiff or something. This
Yeah.
one
Totally.
got a better flow to the art, better texture to it. And I like, a train cover on the Golden Age. I'll tell you can't go wrong these days buying Golden Age covers with trains on them, because that's almost like a guarantee it's a good book if it's got train on it.
And it's got some points for a good Motorhead song title.
Yeah, the Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
Is that blood underneath the train tracks? What is that? It's like red.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, maybe.
That just seems a little much if it was. I'm not sure. Okay.
Someone didn't make it.
Oh yeah, I like that one. That one's good.
Here's another firing from the hip. Planet, always keeping it classy.
That's a great
Very consistent with their level of quality here, I feel.
one of the few covers from them that doesn't have a monster or beast or an alien on it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's rare for a Planet.
And I won't go into the phallic things, but yeah. Okay. Then we got the ruler.
Rula, the junk goddess. Yeah.
And who's this girl? This other one?
I don't know who the blonde is.
I mean, yeah. It's amazing they didn't put like 4 or 5 girls on the cover. I mean, they might as well.
It's Rula.
And then meanwhile,
I actually like these Star Spangled. The Robin Run
cool.
is pretty cool.
I kind of like the rainbow in the background, I have to say.
Yeah.
But
if you get the Star Spangled comics, the Robin Run, it's pretty cool books. I'll be honest.
But it's like, what the hell?
What? Iditarod. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's people try and take you out.
What's his name? Does those books? I forget the artist, but it's pretty good. Yeah. What number is this?
Tricking her with the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Holmberg is the best at drawing the female form. I don't think anybody thinks he is, but he's clearly not the guy to go to for GGA for the most part. There's got to be something else on his covers to draw me other than just that, because he's not the master of the female form for sure.
Although, he could be like if Baker maybe did the penciling or something.
Oh, yeah.
Great skin tone.
He was working with airbrush here too, so maybe just the medium itself was still pretty remedial at the time.
Yeah, possibly, because the art is noticeably different than the quality or the type of art than his drawn stuff for sure.
This one is,
It's a cool cover.
If you don't wear your mask, there might be someone mad, and fighting can ensue at the local Walmart.
Yeah, very relevant cover art.
It feels very Avon, but it's not. It's a cool book.
What do you think that sign says? Claire?
Someone staked, like their
okay.
claim stake or something.
Right.
No,
Right.
not claimed.
Claim
stake.
stake. Yeah. Claim stake.
Get off my land.
Yeah, that reminds me of an old like adventure comics cover.
Mm-hmm.
The pirate fighting on the island.
Mm-hmm.
This one's better.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. But that's got a heavy sci-fi element, which is really cool.
Yep.
But still, she's not the hottest girl in comics for sure. But that's a very cool cover.
Zegra. I don't think I knew this character.
She's got a few books out there. Some good ones.
I'd like to see like all these girls of the time together and a little comparison. It'd be funny.
Well, each one's different in their own way, whether it be the bikini's different or it's a bikini in the first place, the hair. But Zegra is I think there's a decent amount because it's like number 20 something I'm interested in, but yeah.
What were the abilities? I didn't really know the difference between Rula, Zegra, Sheena.
They stabbed the shit out of you, and they're
Is that what it is? They're just
and
deadly with the knife.
Sheena is friends with elephants. Like they protect her and shit. Sheena's that probably the best written of the bunch.
Mm.
The stories.
I like this Joker cover, I think.
The radio station, the Don Imus.
His outfit, clothes, hiding that white skin. It's good. If the weather is going to be Joker in your area.
I think he's broadcast all over the place.
Oh, yeah, okay. And they're jumping through, a window, I guess. Okay. This is, isn't this the first Crypt Keeper?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the few pre-code horror publishers that has actual keys.
I want to see the inside always, and I never do. It's always seems to be.
Yeah, they got the Crypt Keeper, the Old Witch,
and the Vault Keeper.
Yeah, the Vault Keeper. So those first appearances are actually like pre-code horror keys instead of just cover art. So this is a key EC book.
Reaper Tate, I remember, was looking for this for a while.
Yeah, I think he picked one up a while ago.
Yeah, he got one, yeah. Here's another Crimes by Women. She's not entirely sure what's going on here, but I guess she's doing something bad.
I'm trying to think of that motorcycle cover you mentioned, DS. Hardcover Girl? Does that sound right? God, I just can't remember the name.
Yeah, I know. It's something like that. I don't even know how to look it up, really.
In the sea. I feel like they couldn't get Flash to be popular in comics.
Well, Flash was very popular in the comic strip.
Yeah, comic strip.
A lot of other media. So by the time he hit the comic books, he was already popular elsewhere, and it never really transitioned. So I don't know. But Flash Gordon's cool. I prefer Buck Rogers if I'm going to go with one of these old sci-fi guys. But Flash Gordon's cool. There's some cool Flash Gordon comics out there, honestly.
I read about Alex Raymond, the first Flash Gordon artist, how he went off to war, and when he went to war, they gave the strip to someone else, and so he never got to go back to Flash Gordon. I thought that was pretty lame.
Yeah.
But he invented, I think, some other characters, which I thought I felt became popular, but I can't think of their names.
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys from back then are synonymous with the character. When you think Flash Gordon, you think Alex Raymond. That's the only name.
Well, it went to Max Rayboy, I think. Rayboy?
Rayboy did a few, yeah.
He, because his dream was always to do Flash Gordon. And, Alex Raymond was one of his heroes. And then he's like, sweet, this guy's in war. I'll take it. And that's why he got out of comics, because he was doing the Flash Gordon. Is this Cole?
It probably is. It's a Star publication, so he did 99% of all the covers for Star. I have one of these. I don't have that one, but 50 Fables is a cool title. It's got funky stuff inside, and the covers are always bizarre.
Is the inside anywhere near as cool as the front?
No.
Okay.
But, it's animals basically getting into trouble. And having adventures, and they're all anthropomorphic, and it's very trippy. It's trippy inside, but the covers are, of course, much trippier when you put LB Cole on a city magazine.
It's got to be pretty early-ish Cole.
I have a couple of them. I have the one that's a Halloween issue. I have one now with a weird rainbow scene on the front. I like picking up Frisky Fables when I find them. They're cool to own.
This, I thought, was just a weird title. I mean, Little Aspirin.
I don't know that book, actually. Little Aspirin.
It's
never heard of it.
Marvel, I guess, so strange.
What year is that? 50?
49. 1949.
Issue 3? Is that what that is?
Yep. Little Aspirin.
It's a hard one to swallow.
Here's something you won't be doing this weekend. You won't be going to the park and kissing people. A bucket was a lot back then, Kiss the Mystery Girl. I love this cover. I don't know if it's worth much, but I bet a nice copy would be hard to find. It looks nice. There's
Yeah,
a few of these all red ones right around this time. It's pretty cool.
I think Sean just posted a nice copy of that on his Instagram.
Nice.
Pete Monster, Sean.
Yeah. Every time he shows it, he's got a really quality copy, and then he's got the bottle of booze next to it, and it's always
yeah.
post. But
I love it.
yeah, a lot of times
I wonder, like, if the bottle, like, is that alcohol like equivalent? Like, is that a super expensive bottle of whatever it is?
he seems to have a wide range of he's like a connoisseur. I mean, he's got stuff where the labels you can tell he's drawn it himself at some place in Scotland. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
He's
nice.
gone there, drawn his own bottle, and wrote in the label when he got it and where he got it, whatever, what barrel it was from. So yeah, he's a connoisseur.
Well, if you go to his house and you can look at some comics, you're gonna have some tasty treats at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be fun. This one I thought was pretty funny. Murder Incorporated. It's like, okay, this is the cop. Are we talking the cop is the
Murder Incorporated?
Crime never pays. You're gonna get murdered. All right. This
Here's
I would
Baker.
assume is a baker.
Looks Baker to me.
Yeah, I mean, way more attractive than Schomburg's airbrush. Here we go, another planet. Oh, it's got those same things drilling up out of the ground. I didn't know that was like a thing for them.
Planet books.
Maybe they're not keeping it as classy as I thought. This cover I thought was interesting. It was so like crazy, busy kind of, but cool in a way. I mean, it has a kind of Cole-esque quality to it because the forms loop into each other so much it almost becomes abstract craziness. But
Yeah, ever since we did that one show a couple months ago about the Westerns,
yeah,
looking at them, and there are some really quality pieces of art on some of the covers of the Westerns. And yeah, I'm really starting to appreciate some of the art. Some of these Westerns, like this one, I'll go check this one out later because that one's, yeah, that's a really nice work of art there.
yeah. I mean, they didn't like cheese and give you like a crap cover.
Yeah, that's solid art.
Yeah. 1950 now, so we put a little dino in there. Haven't seen too many of these yet. All-Star Thrill, Adventures in the Unknown, ACG, number 13. I don't know, are they all dinosaur stuff, or is it just kind of whack?
It's a mix of it's a horror title.
Okay.
They usually have vampires, werewolves, monsters, swamp creatures, aliens, a mix of everything. They're decent. I mean, they're not great. I really want number one. It's a very early PCH book, and it's got a really cool, mysterious cover of a haunted house with the doors sort of open, and this young couple looking like they're It's like purple and black. It's a really cool. And it's a 1949 book, so it's pretty early for pre-code horror. So it's not a key per se, but an early precursor sort of.
I've seen this character around, but he's just a weird one. I don't know anything about this guy. Is that Mr. Tawny? Yeah, the talking tiger. I don't know. Here's another, I guess, Cole?
I don't know. Alf Fago, I think, did a bunch of these too.
Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah. Nice, regardless. I'm not sure what that guy has. Okay, he's got a paintbrush. Oh, and we were doing some
clowns. Jesus.
A while ago, so I mean, that's very like Joker the movie feeling to me.
Yeah, it is. It feels like that. You're right.
Yeah.
That title is weird. That's an Atlas title, I think. And man, that title spans the gamut from this stuff to crime to horror to war. I mean, there's a wide range of stuff they tried out with Man Comics.
Yeah.
Elephants pulling something. I guess.
Are they pulling down the structure?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. You got this one, JD?
He's not on the screen there.
It's gone.
But that's the most elephants I've ever seen on a cover.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, 3. Yeah, we'll see. Sure, he'll know. This one is just. I thought it was maybe Atomic Bomb or something at first, but it's like a
Planet
Flash
X.
Gordon, the movie where the moon crashes into the Earth or something. Is this worth anything?
Not really. They're cool. I mean, they have a market, but they're not really worth much. They're I don't know. It's like early House of Mysteries, early Strange, the early like DC horror, sci-fi stuff. It's cool, but it's it's nothing special.
Should be worth more.
Elephant. Which elephant did I miss?
Oh yeah, this one.
I have that. Yeah, I have that. I have a good
Is
copy
it
of
the
that.
most elephants on a cover?
How many?
3.
Oh no, there's a baker I have with 11.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, wild boy, number 14.
Wild Boy?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
number 14. I think it's
I would have
post
never
code.
guessed 11.
I think it's post code. Yeah, 11. But that one, that Sheena, I have one. You have to see the colors on the elephant's harness is really, really, really pink, and that's one of the good things to get about this book. This is one of the more sought after Sheena books of the title itself, just because of its the color comparisons on it. They use more colors in this book than it's really a bright colored book. I mean, picture doesn't do it justice until you hold it in hand. It's much nicer. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, and she's got a nice tail.
We showed the Doom from Planet X,
Yep.
and then we're on this one.
See, is this Kinsler?
Probably.
Yeah. See, there's some I like of his and some I don't. Like Space Detective, yes. This title I hate. I don't know why. I mean,
she's got a
I
pretty
like Kinsler on a lot of things, but this is just
not bad.
The title is just weak.
Yeah, I don't think the covers were as great as they could have been.
For the artist, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like
There's no detail on anything. I mean, it's
the background is just red.
Yeah,
kind of sloppy.
Yeah,
In a
the
way.
title is just jagged and it's just filled in yellow, and it just doesn't have that extra punch you need.
yeah.
If they had
that background was black.
sci-fi background like space,
Yeah,
Like look at Space Detective 3 and look at this and say that's the same artist.
yeah,
You know?
if that background was black with stars and stuff, it would just look way cooler.
yeah, it would be better.
Even if there was more detail on the characters, where they were doing something a little bit more exciting than.
How does she keep that bottom up?
Well,
She's from the future. They have magical things.
Magnetic.
Gravity.
they're using 3 shells.
Here's another wacky one.
That's real cool.
I like that.
Maluka.
I like that title a lot. That title's got the one with
Yeah,
like,
you're
steampunk.
a big fan of this title because this is a great title for like the pulp fans love this title. So
I like it too.
Yeah.
I like the other one better, but this one's also good.
yeah,
Black Cat Mystery.
yes, there it is.
Not worth much, right?
Literally with a black cat on there.
Yeah,
Literally the big
Black Cat's not the same thing unless it's number 50, and the rest are just sort of all the same.
yeah.
There are a couple Black Cats that are worth before it was the horror when they had the
Superhero.
yeah, whatever her name was on
Black
it.
Cat.
Oh, it was a Black Cat. Okay.
This could be the guy from Goonies' parents.
I think Black Cat started with her first appearance is also the first appearance of Plastic Man in the Police story.
Oh, Police Comics 1?
Yeah, I think it's Police.
Right? Wasn't he in Police Comics 1?
Yeah, I think it's Police Comics. Yeah, I think Black Cat's in that because it's Harvey
What's the guy from Goonies?
Sloth.
Yeah, it's like his. His relative.
Sloth Love Chunk.
Yeah.
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth.
Yeah.
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road.
Oh, the doll man.
This is a weird one. Atomic Heat Unit.
I
This-
actually met a guy at a hotel con who has every doll man and every Green Hornet, and said they were the best. You know, that's what I'm like, okay.
What about feature comics? Did he have those too? The Dollman's in there.
He said he had every doll man appearance. That's the
Oh,
only
yeah.
one.
Dollman's first
He has
appearance is in
original
feature.
art. He has original art from some of these books.
The artwork's good inside, man. There's a lot of good
Yeah.
stories, torture
That's what he-
stories, all
He
kinds of
said,
stuff.
you read him. He said the stories are incredible. It's literally better than Marvel in the 60s and 70s. So he compares to House of Secrets and House of Mystery writing.
You could just imagine the art director or editor of, when they're developing a Scooby Doo. You go, no, make the dog have remember that old comic book where the dog made those like really stupid surprise faces, on it? Yeah, make it like that.
Yeah, look at the dog in the background. Yeah. Huh? Eerie.
Here we
What
go.
number is this one?
Number 4.
Wally Wood.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Did
I wouldn't have thought of
Yeah, I like this one. It's got a really creepy quality. This whole title is creepy, but this one, I've had one of these before, and like anything else in the golden age, when you have it in hand in front of you, it's a totally different animal than when you're looking at pictures. And it's such a cool, like, Night of the Living Dead cover. It really has a cool feel to it. Very creepy cover. I like it.
That woman is totally Wally Wood. It's one of the best ones. Yeah. Number 3, if you ever see, I think we had it on. Is a great cover. It's the one with the vampire coming through in a green background with a blonde, with the red going down, going like this. It's just absolutely one of my favorite of that whole run. Another Wally Wood. Yeah, police. Yeah. Lady in the green dress.
Yep. I mean, she's terrified. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's a Yellow Peril cover also.
Yep. Yes, Yellow. Yeah. We were saying what? Yellow Menace last
Well,
week.
it's Weird Menace is the pulp version of like monster and horror. It's called Weird Menace, and any with these Oriental themes were called Yellow Peril, a Yellow Peril cover.
Yeah, Joey Bag
But I mean, that's what it was. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna try to get that guy on. He's slightly camera shy. If he wants to come on and talk the doll man, yeah. All right, Kinsler's coming up. There it is. Oh no, that's
This is funny. The metal murderers of Mars. I mean, it's got to be the humans, right? They're just like, "What's up?"
That's
Bam.
2, right? Is that issue 2?
We come in peace. Bam. Point blank.
That's issue 2, right?
Yeah, issue 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it continues. It's an actual story that continues in 3. This makes it's if you check out Space Detective 3's cover. It's really badass. It's got like a big-headed vampire behind him. Those 2 characters. Oh, but they're much more dressy. Space Squadron.
Another big Fing Fang Foamish Godzilla.
Okay. So,
More yellow. Well, I guess this is right at Korea War, so
Yeah, communism at least.
early one. Yeah. America's Unsung Heroes.
You know, some of these later ACG books are fairly scarce too. I don't know if this one is or not, but I'm saying as ACG got later into the age, some of those became very scarce. So they must have cracked down the print runs on some of them. Some of the non-horror, the horror stuff continued on strong for a while, but some of these off-titles, off-brands, sort of ACG stuff like Spy Hunters and that romance one, some of those can get pretty scarce.
Nice.
Looks like he's in China spying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool cover. I like that one.
Yeah, I think it's neat.
Strange Worlds, MODOK. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
That's funny.
Hate this title.
Yeah, I mean, he put a lot of work into that dress too, the clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's decent.
Venus.
Yeah, it's my favorite Venus issue. I know I'm in the minority. The other one's better, but this is my favorite.
Everybody
Can't
like
go wrong with
there.
face off, yeah.
Can't go wrong with any of the last three.
Yeah,
I like
I
she's
kind of like the brunette in the back as being like,
yeah, totally.
yeah. I think
She's
that's
like, God
well
damn
done.
it. I can never find good enough zombie skeletons. They always dropping shit, and it's like, why can't they just carry the stuff properly?
And something that DS always brings up when we discuss Bill Everett, but I do love the lighting in this one as well. The shadow behind her looks
Mhm.
pretty cool. You know, it's done
Yeah,
pretty
that's a good one. I know Venus 19 blows this one out of the water on the market, but I really like this one better. It's got a more overall sort of 50s horror movie style to it. The Venus 19 is just in your face. I mean, it's good too, but
It's in her face too.
this is more evocative of a feeling of fear and creepiness than the other one is just shocking horror right in your face. So I don't know. This one's creepier to me.
What
Yeah.
is going on here, though? Are they filling? What do they got? Bags of
I can grab my copy if you want to see, but I look at it better. But you could probably zoom in.
Tower of Death. I want to read this one for some reason.
yeah. I don't know.
I want to know more about that woman in the back. She's a badass.
Lilith.
Look at this though. This is a nice Wallywood. He jumped in quality from that last one to
He's always good. I mean, I always like Walter.
this is awesome.
Was it Wallace? Wallace.
Love this one. Meanwhile,
Oh God!
Fucking A.
Fast forward, dude. Fast forward right now. double click your mouse to skim it.
Young Man, this is a Buscema title.
Yeah, it's an Atlas. It looks like maybe a Manili cover.
Could be a lot of the interior stories of those. They that's Young Men on the Battlefield. There's some that are boxing stories that are taken directly from fights, but they change names, so it's really cool when you go to like the 40s fighters and stuff.
This is a cool little run.
Yeah. This gained a little bit of love on the boards for a while. This was one of those that people. I just saw a lot more come out, and a lot of people were paying higher prices for them.
The standard PCH titles were overlooked for a long time. Even when PCH boomed, these sort of got left behind. And I think they're slowly sort of gaining momentum as people are digging deeper into PCH and appreciating stuff like this. Because I think Out of the Shadows is a standard title. Another one that was overlooked for a while. Adventures into Darkness has some really. One of these is a Jack Katz cover that is just freaking awesome. And I used to have a copy, and I want to upgrade, and I just never ever saw another one. So they're tough to find, and they're good. They're gaining momentum over time. These standard ones, I think.
And I like
they're gaining the respect that they should too, because they're just really cool covers.
Yeah, the simplicity of it makes it the best part, you know.
I don't know why you would be, but if you're just joining us, we're looking at books from the Golden Age that came out in August.
2 hours.
What year? What year are we on?
1952, right here. Boom, Atomic War.
That's the cover. There's 2 on. I like the one with the Capital one in the background. That's pretty popular too.
This has got to look awesome when it's a high grade.
Yeah, I've never owned one.
Have you held any of these, Jeff?
Mm-hmm. I have. I've had 1, 2, and 3. I think there's 3. There's one with like a jetpack kind of something, and then the Capitol blown up. I think I have the Capitol one right now.
Yeah, I don't have this issue.
I have the Capitol one, my personal.
That's the
It's
one.
a short run. There's only like 3 or 4 issues, right?
Yeah, I think I've.
Does it look good in hand?
Yes, it does.
Isn't there one also with a sub launching the missile, and you can see the missile landing? Is that a
I'm
comic?
not sure.
Only Strong America.
That might be World War III.
Yeah, what was it?
3.
I like the jagged edges on the letters there. Like,
Yeah, it's like shocking.
yeah.
It's radiation.
Mm-hmm.
Baffling.
We got Baffling Mysteries.
Popular title.
I don't know why they use yellow on so many of their titles. It's just, even the war ones have this yellow sometimes. There we go.
Yeah.
Some crazy they shrank down into the Joker's utility belts. Okay.
Yeah, I like this one, and it seems to be conflicting info out there about whether collectors like it or don't like it. I think it's cool, but I hear people tell me it's dumb, so I think it's split on people liking this or not.
Yeah.
I think for this part of the time frame of Batman, this is a great Joker cover. I mean,
Yeah. Could be worse.
Yeah, they could be on a fucking tandem bike.
Yeah.
We already had the tandem bike. Oh, Battlefield.
mhm.
Yeah, that's a nice one there.
Hey,
I
I
don't
was going to say, did you hear there was another? There was a comment on the boards that I was talking, and I heard that Warbooks is definitely such a great run right now that people are giving it getting its due. So let's get some. We're definitely going to do another show on Warbooks soon with DS's collection.
I think DS just, is a trendsetter.
Well, I don't know about that because I'll tell you,
Yeah.
jump into Warbooks again was something that Sean posted. He posted a really nice copy of like Battle 11, a snow scene, and I was blown away by it when I looked at it. And I went and started looking at it. I found that one, and I bought it, and then I started researching. I've really only been into them since like January, but yeah, what's really shaking out to be the best stuff is the Russ Heath covers. Those starting to really rise to the top as the cream of the crop. Other than the Violent Flamethrower covers, anything by Russ Heath is starting to really rise to the top. Yeah. And this one looks like it might be a Russ Heath.
It's out.
Didn't write it. Battle report. I don't know. I just threw some in here. I wasn't sure which ones are worth anything or not.
Well, Ajax Farrell did some war stuff, and it's not as good to me, but people collect it.
This one, I don't know.
I never liked this cover.
Yeah.
I like the color. It's kind of cool, purple color, but yeah, boring. I like this one a lot.
I love this cover.
That's
Crazy.
Anyone have a centerfold to this? Please let me know. I need one.
Oh.
I wonder if it's a really cool, trippy.
Fade pretty easily. The pink background, does that fade pretty easily? Is that a book?
I don't know. It's a great book. This is
probably a Simon cover.
Simon, right? Yeah. It is.
That was like
this one when I saw one at the New York Con a couple of years ago.
There it is.
A guy had one.
The pink's not faded on mine.
Come right back to this. I'm a big fan of this cover, so it's our show. This stuff. Let's see it. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that pink was really faded. It's not pink background; it's a red background. Yeah.
No, it's a pink. It's like a what do you call it? Yes, it's very much that.
Fuchsia.
But it gets the pink down below. It's not faded whatsoever.
It looks great.
Yeah, I think it's missing a centerfold. I think
it's mauve. Maybe Periwinkle. Periwinkle?
Oh my God. No, maybe it's not missing a centerfold. Maybe I was thinking of the book.
Fish, that green fish going in the background. It's great.
It's kind of Simon and Steranko meet. Really feel to it.
Yeah. Very good stuff. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? Let's go back to this.
Just grab that right. Like, hey, I've got that right here. That was awesome.
I'm really organized.
You are.
So not true.
Where do we go to right now? LB.
Boom.
I'm surprised you don't have you're not a big fan of this, DS. I never see you.
I am a big fan of it, and I did have it. I had a 4.5, which I bought for like $1,000, and I sold it on Heritage for like 2,800. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I have, but when I can make a shit ton of money off it, I don't have it much longer. And then I'll do it again. But I had it. It's super cool. It reminds me of an 80s Megadeth cover, Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. I was thinking Iron Maiden, yeah.
And it's a war cover. It's about the Korean War is what's going on there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I definitely dig it. It's not really that rare, though. There's plenty of them out there, so I'll get another one at some point.
I wasn't sure if this was. Are they supposed to be sunburn here, or is this just a weird color copy. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's Baker.
Baker. Those
Those
cheekbones.
Man, those
Did your
ladies were
friend-
talking about him.
Did your friend find his missing copies of his Baker run?
Not yet. I happen to have one that he really wants in
Did he
really
Did he
nice
use
shape.
27?
It's like 7.0 or 7.5, probably with upgrade. It's a beautiful book. I didn't even know he needed it. He's asked me about it, but I didn't realize it was one he's missing. But it's just not going anywhere. It's just
I sold my
Nice.
Diary C Secrets 27 to Rick.
Oh, you did? Is this a 27? This
No,
issue?
it's the
What
yellow
number
one.
is this? Oh,
This one's 14.
This is a later Baker.
I had a
harder
Diary
to
Secret.
find. The harder to find later issue.
oh, the Dire Secret's 27. Okay, yeah, 26, 27 are tough.
Boom.
Ooh,
I'm not sure what. Is this the same artist that did those like melting face covers? Like
Yeah, Lee Elias.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and his signature is easy to recognize because he puts it in a circle, and that's probably it on the bottom now.
Okay.
That's a cool cover.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like
The
it.
poses on the characters are great.
Would this be a war cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got,
I
Yeah.
think so. looks like GIs.
Pretty cool.
And I think it's a short run. I think it's maybe 9 or 10 issues of that.
The Jeep is fine. We go Fighting Man annual. So I wonder if this is. It says giant. I think 200. Wow. I mean, if it's 250 pages, that'd be crazy.
That's a feral book, and if that's an annual and it's a feral, I guarantee that's freaking impossible to find. And I
Yeah.
guarantee
anything is falling apart.
beat. If you had a 4.0 copy of this, man, that thing would be so valuable because I guarantee that there's just none out there. Guarantee.
Oh, I'll just grab one. Let me grab mine real quick.
He's got one.
I got 4 of
I'm
them.
just kidding.
I've been sitting on.
Use it, Jeff, if you had that one.
Yeah, if it's a Farrell book and an annual that's big. It's probably in pulp are in better shape. Probably.
What was the name of that?
The Fighting Man.
And I'm going to put a penny on the thing.
Yeah, that's a cool book.
This is a good one. Great
Mhm.
story.
Hmm.
I forget the artist of this, but it's really, really well done.
Yeah, it's almost like
It's
an
an
origin.
EC, so
And it's a classic story. Like there's a kid and they hear like a crying kid in the house. And yeah, I had it for a while. It's one of those, I wasn't really into war, but when I'd see like some interesting ones, I would just pick them up if they were cheap. And yeah, and then when I went to sell it, they sold like in 2 seconds.
Nice.
But I remember the artwork on the
I like
inside.
this.
Great. Haunted
like-
Room.
I always like this cover.
Yeah, that's cool.
One of those honey I'm home kind of things.
Yeah.
Feels like.
Cole Santa.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I like Cole has a lot of holiday themed covers in the Golden Age, and the only ones I like are the Halloween. Go figure. But
Demanded.
Christmas ones. There's still LD Cole though. LD Cole Santa is still cool.
There's some
Yeah.
value to these holiday comics. People really
Yeah,
do like this
There
title.
it is.
Definitely.
Yep.
You'll find those on eBay for like $5, and I'll buy them if I see them. You know what I mean? Or you'll find them out and about. They're not. People never ask a lot for them ever. You can pick them up dirt cheap, and there's always somebody that wants it.
Joe
This
Palooza.
was a little. I mean, I thought this title was like a kid's funny book or something, but it's definitely a little violent for that. I don't know if they're all like this, but
Well, Palooka was probably around for 10 years by then, so they probably adapted to the audience that read the book. Started at, 8 years old. Now they're 18 going off to war. Maybe this is what they want to read, you know.
Well, he had a lot of boxing covers. Joe Palooka had a lot of boxing themed stuff before this.
Yeah, I mean, he had a huge print run. He would sell 1 million issues. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
Joe Palooka was
It was one of the biggest
top-selling
ones
comic.
outside of Dell. I think it was one of the top ones outside of Dell.
I mean, it's funny because even the Punisher, right? I don't know if there's ever, I mean, maybe there are some covers where it shows him actually shooting a guy through the chest, but I can't think of
war journals. There's just there's some war journals like that, but
really.
not,
And he's actually like it shows the
not like
bullet.
this. No.
There's a Baker war book from the 50s. Matt Baker drew with a guy in a seated position with like a Gatling machine gun, firing the bullets through the enemy who's like 5 feet in front of him, and you can see the bullets going in and exiting out his back like 3 shots. It's a Matt Baker too, and I think it's
Like fighting Marines or something.
Yeah. And it's a Matt Baker, and it's got bullets going right through the dude. It's pretty violent.
I wasn't sure what was up with this, but he almost looked like a zombie to me, but or like he's high or something. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on here.
Here's some crazy winged skeleton thing.
Yep.
A coffin for Carlos.
Well, then you got yes.
8-0. Wow. When was that? What year was that?
This year, this was
Oh.
in March of this year.
Probably worth more by now since war's gotten so hot.
Yeah.
Which one? Can you show again?
We're not helping any.
Show it again real quick. Oh yeah.
8-0. Wow.
Seven of them on the census. This is the only recent sale.
Wow. I was surprised to see an 8.
Yeah, I mean, there's more than I thought, even on the census. But yeah, 8-0. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
What's the census say on it? Just out of curiosity.
What's the highest grade?
Highest grade is an 8-0.
Nice. There it is.
A 7.5, there's a 6.5, a 5.5, a 5.0, a 4.5, and a 1.8.
That's not that many.
No, it's not that. It's more than I expected, but it's not that many, and most of them are 5.0 or higher, which is surprising. But I'll tell you what, if I go back in time to March, I'd pick up that 8.0 for $3,000. Which is
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Back time. There you go. In 1952, Matt Baker did a 4-month stint drawing the comic strip Flamingo, written by fiction house author Ruth Roach. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This one,
a new Baker book coming out soon.
There's a hardcover thing coming out. It's got the cover, the Cinderella story cover. That girl with the yellow hat.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. Yeah.
I had this book years ago when I first got into PCH, and I sold it. It always frustrated me that they didn't show more of the creature, because it's like a bat-winged skeleton that you just need more of that. You know what I mean? It's not quite there.
Yeah.
Like most of the top.
I like that demon guy in the left there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A horror to marvel at, a suspense to marvel at, terror to marvel at. Stan Lee's gearing up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought this was interesting. You see the actual, their language on here. You don't see that. I don't recall ever seeing that really in word rooms, like Chinese.
That's messed up. This cover. See them working, putting it down. He just blows it up. He lets them set it all. He gets to the box before they do, or something. I don't know.
That's another one of those titles that had a mix of horror and war.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "You got to get up pretty early in the morning to outsmart the Marines." Oh God, I like this lady.
Yeah.
She's cool.
This is a funny butt.
Crime. What publisher is this one?
I've never seen it before.
I mean, I almost want to say it's Avon because it's a one-shot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And it's a pretty tough one to find. And it's fairly pricey because you just don't see it. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. I would buy a high grade of this if I saw it. Like high grade. If I find like a 7.0, I would pick it up. I think it's a cool book.
Mm-hmm.
See, is this the postman? He's like,
I don't know.
Some people like you who give him a tip in Christmas, and then other families like this people.
I mean, I think like the trade dress on it's worth it for me. Monster crime. I mean, and it's got monsters on it committing crimes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Out of the shadows. Meet the salesman of space western comics.
Firefly before it was Firefly.
Strange.
I think Ditko did some work on this one, didn't he?
I don't know.
This is a cool little run. Space Western.
Is it Charlton?
Space Western?
Yeah. Who? I mean, I'm trying to think of how would Ditko do this.
Yeah, I don't know.
It might be Charlton.
I think it could be.
I think it might be Charlton.
If it is, then it's Ditko because he was doing. Is fifth? What are we in? 52? 50?
52.
Yeah.
that one is a John Belfi cover.
What's his name?
John Belfi.
Okay. BLFI.
This is it's a cool title. I'm trying to see if any of Ditko did any of them though. I thought he did.
I'm trying to think of who would have been.
It's a cool title. It's got like, 7 issues or something like that? It's like 41, 42 for something, I think, if I remember.
That would be a good one.
It's got
80.
that Nazi cover is pretty cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's also got a UFO one that's cool, I think, if I recall.
And Space Western's cool, like Brave Star and the Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers cartoons.
Speaking of Brave Star, I heard you mention Fist of the North Star last week.
Oh, I did, yeah.
That was cool, man. I haven't heard Fist of the North Star for almost a decade at least.
I've been after this first appearance forever. Finally got one. Hard to get.
Oh, this is cool.
I mean,
Alien blood transfusion.
Crazy.
That's one of the few ferals I like that I would actually own. Most of them are too humorous or cartoony for me, but this one is got a good creepiness factor to it.
It really does. It's almost like
weird.
aliens operating on aliens, ghouls operating on ghouls. You know?
Yeah, but it's a much more serious tone than a lot of Ajax Feral stuff. Their stuff is usually like almost like horror hijinks, but this one has got a much more serious flow to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's got that guy who, I mean, kind of looks like he's looking down at them, but it also looks like his head is on a hook in the background.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, it's like very serious just because there's nothing really, you're just like looking into a window of this weird
right. It's cool.
Shit going on. Okay. Another crazy dream comic. I like this.
Did Kirby do one of these? Or
yeah, I think so.
Like the first one.
I'm not sure if he did this one, but
no, I don't know about this one, but I thought he did one of them.
Yeah, he definitely did. I remember reading about that they put the kibosh on these, even though, when they did the whole the code,
comic code,
it was like, they weren't even just dream comics. Not like this, but damn, that's awesome looking.
Yeah, this is the origin of the Crypt Keeper, I think. Number 33, I believe.
It might be. I know it's a key because of Anthony from his content. I know this is a key.
It's great skills, craftsmanship there. Jack Davis, right? Yeah. Cole.
Yeah.
Cool.
For all those Cole ape collectors out there, this is definitely like a radioactive ape.
Yeah, the original art for this sold recently, didn't it?
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, what was the name? What was it again? What number? I think I'm
Terrors of the Jungle 19.
Terrors of the Jungle 19.
I kind of like this one. It's pretty neat. Probably not worth too much.
Cool one.
Pretty terrifying looking mummy. True to life romances.
Get it on. That's LB Cole.
I
Yeah.
like the mist in the background is pretty neat. True War Experiences. Not familiar with this title.
Never seen it.
Doesn't seem gritty enough for the usual war. What do you think, Dia?
It's a Harvey, and it's it's all right.
Yeah. Well, that one.
I like that one better.
Killer Patrol.
I just had issue 1.
It's pretty good.
Came back from CGC, highest graded copy of this title.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I sold it to a former Marine who collects Marine comics, and he absolutely hit me up from the day I bought it till the day it came back graded. And he followed through and bought it from me. And he's got the highest graded copy of 7.5, and it's an Acon. And so it went to a good home, and I was very proud to get the highest grade on that.
Good deal.
U.S. Paratroops.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that tank on that.
Yeah, I like the tank. Reminds me a little bit of Kubert.
Oh, the Hunter tank? Yeah.
Way he draws that
The
treads.
Hunter tank? Yeah.
Yeah.
Voodoo, that's Ajax barrel.
There's another annual.
That's a tough annual right there. We know that. That one trades for a lot.
Yeah, even low grades go high.
Boom. I'm not sure the artist on this, but it looks good. Warfront.
Yeah.
That's nice. Web of Evil. Is anything worth anything? I don't know.
No, this has got one good issue in the title, and it's number 5, the Electrocution cover.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the rest is ho hum.
I like this cover.
Yeah, pretty funny.
I like that alien dude.
This one always reminds me of that movie Invaders from Mars. Is that the
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah,
I think we have the Simpsons aliens, Kang and Kona. That's them.
I'm not sure. This might be wood.
That is.
Cover. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I've been looking for one of those for a little while.
Solid.
I mean, I'm
Solid.
debating what I want with it. Yeah. Nice full cover.
Here you go, DS. I know you love those musicians horror covers. Conductor.
I think this one's cool. I like it.
It's like 3, right? 3 different conductor horror.
Well, Horrific 1 is my favorite. There's a couple. There's one from the Adventures in the Darkness. Didn't we see that one already, or did we see a different one?
We saw like a wedding scene at a cemetery is the one we saw.
Yeah.
Okay. There's an Adventures in the Darkness with like a quartet of guys, of skeletons dressed up.
He's playing a violin, right?
Yeah. And this one, I think this is cool. I like this title a lot. Actually, it's cool.
Nice.
The cat people.
Yep.
This Kirby.
Free. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, classic.
Classic. Yeah.
Was this in the book? The those crime.
Was this in Sodi? I don't know. I don't think
Yeah.
so. Because Sodi was written by now.
Oh, okay.
You got to go to like 48. This could be Wallywood.
This is the girl that half of this title uses that same image of that same girl.
Yeah. And Wallywood did it in the first one in number 3. Let me look at that. Let me look that one up. That could be right.
She's on like 5 covers. Just same exact.
Yeah. What's it called?
But again, a nice Night of the Living Dead sort of feel to it. I don't know. I like that. It's very similar to the other one we saw.
The disregard to the
What number is that? 7?
skulls on here is weird.
What number?
13.
13? I'm sorry.
Yep. Cat people-ish cover again with the
Hollingsworth. What?
Tambu elephants. What are the Tambu elephants?
That's cool. The Kanga, is that the no, that's the original. They reprinted all of them. It's like 2 years later that IW group. Yeah, they reprinted every one of them.
Masked. Is this almost looks like a coal?
It's a cool cover.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I like it though.
Yeah.
Nice.
That horse spooked. Oh, honey, giving you some the ants.
Honey, honey.
This is the prequel to Weird Mysteries 4.
I like this one.
It was a flamethrower cover, yeah.
Nice lighting on there.
Oh, it's not even a flamethrower cover, right? It looks like, is he putting out the fire?
I think he's
They're putting out the fire.
yeah.
No,
Bring it
yeah.
But he's mad, so it kind of looks
Angry,
like he's burning them up.
That was always a weird one.
Oh God, yeah.
Dude, I love this book, and I had a copy that was like a 3.0, and I'm like, man, I love this book. I'm gonna get a better copy, and I sold it, and I've yet to find a better copy, and that was literally like 4 years ago. This was I bought this on eBay for like $20, like 4 or 5 years ago, and I've yet to get another copy, and I love it. It's so cool, that black cover, and it's such a weird looking spider thing. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
You guys have big spiders where you live? Jeff, I know you must.
I do.
Big spiders? Not that big. I mean, we got spiders, but
I don't have
nothing.
them in my city, but in the outskirts, we got the big brown recluses out here.
I mean, we got, they call it the house spider or some shit. But, I mean, they are big here. They're like...
Those types of spiders or like furry kind of spiders? How big you talking?
I got like a 4-inch house spider sometimes crawling around.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not a big like spider phobe type of guy, so for me, it doesn't. But my kids maybe it bugs me, but I just usually grab them and let them out of the house. I'm like, all right, get out.
I love spiders because spiders eat the insects that I don't like. So whenever I find one, if it's too large, the wife doesn't want it in here, so I have to kill it or get rid of it. But if it's small and she hasn't seen it, I just leave it.
I usually get them, just boot them out of here with a cup or something.
I heard 2 facts. I haven't researched them, but I heard that in your lifetime, an average person will eat 4 spiders in their sleep. Okay. And then, which I don't know if that's true or not, and that any given time, 2 spiders have at least an eye on you.
That's all. Spiders keep an eye on me.
I don't know if that's true. I think I looked that one up and it was false. But at least one in your house.
They're watching. They're like, God damn it!
Look at her, dude.
That's stream gonna end.
That's hilarious. I know.
Oh, that's awesome. All 3 of those.
Wow. All right. I see a little bit of resemblance.
Yeah, that's 3 issues from that Eerie title.
Jeez.
My wife always teases me about this spider story where in the middle of the night, I had a bottle of this really nice, expensive root beer. And I went and took a sip. It had been sitting there for a while. And I took a sip. And there was a spider in there that I almost swallowed.
Oh.
I spit it out, and then it was rocking away. And it was like, I can't even believe that this happened. I can't barely think about it. So now, like, there's never, ever anything at nighttime, like, with the top open anymore.
I was in Mexico for a wedding on a beach, and it was during the day, and we're just drinking.
Oh,
and I was taking a sip of a Corona.
Oh, no.
And then I have something in my mouth, and I was like, what is that? And when I noticed that I, like, about to chew out what it was, and I go to spit it out, it stings me. I swallowed a bee. This happened to land on the beer at the worst time, and it stung my lip right before the wedding. I got this fat lip, and spit it out. Ugh.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I was lucky. It was just a spider, but fuck, that was not good. Could have probably just swallowed it, but this is a great coal, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Coal.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. That's a cool title.
Wouldn't command much money, I wouldn't think.
A higher grade would, but I mean, you get a mid grade of that for a few hundred at most, probably.
Not as much as this would go for.
That would go for more, yeah.
It's pretty horrifying. Even that girl in the front is pretty horrifying.
Both definitely go for more.
And this.
And the Startling Terror,
Yeah.
I love that eye in the background. It's so cool. In the tree.
Yeah, he fills every inch of the cover with something.
And then that crazy green face. It's like, what? Everywhere you turn is
ones of that title to get to.
I never seen this one before. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah, this one's good. I always love this cover. It doesn't get a ton of. It's not super expensive, right? Unless it's spiked late, but
No, I mean it's picked up, but it's as far as like the massive skull covers, this one is probably the most affordable. I would say Witchcraft 2 outsells this. But yeah, this is definitely a quality skull cover. I mean, it's a flaming skull with a bat and the
black cover. It's Dr. Death, right?
Dr. Death, the narrator of this title. It's a black cover. Yeah, it's cool.
I like this one.
Another Harvey.
Not sure who did this. Oh, this is speaking of spiders. This one just like creeped me out. This hairy thing. I don't know what the hell this is, but
it's like
no
the end of it. First It.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely creepy. Oh, there you go. There's young men.
Yep. Tried to bring the torch back. Oh yeah, and Cap there. Bucky
It's
with
the
the
Mariner.
red. Subby looks good. Everett around there. Battle.
Did you have this book, DS, or no?
I have that for sale right now, and it's a copy that I bought and cleaned up and pressed, and it is a beautiful, clean copy. The white on top of the cover is bright white now. The pages are white. It's a white pager, and it's a 5.0. It's a really, really nice copy. I'm considering pulling it and just keeping it because it's such a nice copy of that book.
Yeah, that's a really cool book.
Great book. Great cover.
The little sig off the side of his lip too. It's like
Oh, that's what makes that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool.
There you go again, Black Magic.
Jack Kirby dreams here. Some kind of shark thing. I don't know. Chamber of Chills.
That's the next to last issue, and that's technically a robot cover by Lee Elias.
Oh, okay.
I had an 8.5 of this.
Lee Elias, you said?
Yeah, it's Lee Elias.
It's pretty neat. I like the lighting's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
I sold it a few years ago for like, I mean, not peanuts, but $450 or $475. It really wasn't going for that much. I still don't think it would go for that much, but I could get more than that off it now. But
this is a very early Pee Wee Herman influence.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
a bunch of those parody mags came out at that point. They had Mad and what was the Marvel one they had?
I don't know.
There's a couple of them.
Well drawn. And here we go. This. So when I first saw this, I thought it was some like horror book, like her screaming and this dude zombie or something. But then I was like, oh wait, not a horror comic.
Her first love was a zombie.
It has that kind of feel to it for some reason. I don't know why.
Zombie love #1.
That would be a big seller if they had that.
I mean, there is the guy in the window makes it a little bit like something. There's more to the story. But.
Yeah.
There you go. That one's real cool.
I want that book.
Do you have that book or you're looking for it?
I want that book. I have the issue after it or before it, the one that girls in handcuffs, and in the courtroom.
Yeah, this is
right
number
before it, but
50, right? 50?
yeah, 50.
With the yellow skin tone they gave her is what just makes it so bizarre and just striking.
And those bright red lips they gave the contrast.
Yeah.
And it's just
And the girl, I mean, she's saying, "How can I tell him that I'm going insane?"
the Love Lunatic. I mean, that's so good. Love Lunatic.
That's a cool book.
Is that supposed to be her in the background?
The Love Lunatic? Probably. Or is it Love the Lunatic? I don't know.
Oh.
Makes me want to read it though.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot going for it.
I think that guy is falling for her, and that's and who she was before is the girl behind bars. But he doesn't know who she really is. I think maybe that's what's going on.
Well,
we should all speculate and
or
see who gets closest.
I'm thinking that's her in the future. Because she's saying in the thought bubble, "How can I tell him that I'm going insane?"
I think that's what she wants the relationship to be, and it's not that because she's crazy and he's in love with somebody else.
Well, we definitely need to get this book now.
Yeah.
Get to the bottom of it.
I'm going to go to Amazon right now and see if I can pick one up. Prime that tomorrow.
I'll tell you though, if that showed up at an auction in like a 6.5 or a 7.0, I bet you it would go for a few $1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you. I mean, I know several people probably pay a few thousand for it.
Spook.
Spook 30.
Yep.
This is the last issue and the only non-Cole cover of the title.
Oh, wow.
This is a Jay Disco.
He was good at copying his.
Yeah, I mean, when I bought this at first, like early on, before I really knew Cole very well, I thought this was an LB Cole book when I bought it because it looked like the other Cole stuff that I had seen. Jay Disbrow.
Well, which makes me wonder who did the color work for his stuff then, because if it was able to fool you with LB Cole's coloring like this, then like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Strange world. Maybe Cole still art directed it.
Yeah.
I like these flying demons. I feel like there's another book, isn't there, with the close up of those guys? Those.
Yeah. There is. It's another Avon. There's two versions of it. Came out.
They're cool looking though.
Black cover. God, what was it called? Do you remember the name, DS?
Is it a Strange Worlds issue?
I don't think so. I think it's a different title. It's like a black cover. They're flying out of the spaceship. It would be like a close-up of just the spaceship of these demons coming out. And there's two versions. There's one with a 10-cent on there and another 10-cent that's different. There's a first version.
Like, Mars something UFOs from Mars.
Mars Attack? No, I don't remember. Shoot, can't believe I forgot.
Mr. Chat.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember. It's almost think it says UFO in the title or Mars.
Is it Planet of Mars? Planet from Mars? No. Well, this is creepy. I've never seen this one.
It's pretty weird.
Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah, weird one.
Venus and Mars? No, Venus? No.
It's weird too. It almost has a like superhero kind of outfit on.
Yeah, it looks like Flash almost. Yeah. Some kid dressed up as Flash for Halloween.
Nyoka.
Yep. Nyoka, the Jungle Girl. Those go. A lot of them have picture covers, painted covers. It changes a lot. Nyoka herself goes from being Asian to blonde. She becomes a queen at some point. It's just a change. It's a long-running title by Farrell.
I like the artwork.
Fawcett. Sorry, Fawcett. Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the Batcave. The Batman machine.
Iron Man.
Wacky. Oh, that's great artwork.
Yeah,
Piracy's
cool.
had some good covers.
All right, I know it's got a code on it, DS, but it's got a really kick-ass shark coming in.
Yeah, but it's got the code. I can't do it.
Code beats shark.
Code beats shark.
Code beats shark. Rock beats paper. Scissors. Paper beats rock.
If I'm gonna go
Code beats shark.
I'm gonna go to like Silver Age superhero stuff. Honestly,
You got to see what book beats the code.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you can find one that beats the code, that will be a nice thing. I don't know of any.
Well, that's it. Oh, we did August.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Good. Well, we didn't expect to do 2 hours and 55 minutes, but we did.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody who's been here. I mean, we had a pretty long time. It was great.
Epic one.
Anybody want to plug anything real quick?
No.
On the West Coast? Okay. So we're going to close this out. Thank you again, everybody. Have a good one.
Take care.
Thank you for being